Or who's going to be in charge of checking stream and for audio and shit like that? Someone who
Not Mike.
has headphones. Yeah, not
Yeah.
Mike. Okay, cool.
Will someone Oh no, I can get it up. It's fine.
And you can get the stream up.
Yeah. Okay. 3,
Yeah, you can.
2, 1.
Oh fuck!
We should be live. Here we go.
One. Oh.
Yippee!
Let's get a test as soon as it's up, and then we'll begin.
Twitch.
Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee.
Yeah, we're live.
We're live. We're live on the internet, everyone.
Hey.
Logging on.
We'll do it live.
We're live on the internet.
Welcome, internet.
Okay, so
We're live and we're going in raw.
boil up a pot. Take a seat by the hearth and enjoy a fine beverage with the journeyman questers. The journeyman.
Hello, Johnny. Wales and Johnny.
Okay. The journeyman.
Tashi's
arrived.
dancing, but I don't hear music.
The journeyman.
It came in late for me.
Okay,
It
there we
always
go.
does.
There we go. I did preemptively.
It comes in at different
Got
points for everyone.
Now we're rolling.
Oh yeah, I can hear.
Oh,
Mike,
no.
I think
It's Mike. It's definitely you, Mike.
it
The
flashed up
audio
yellow.
comes back through put headphones in. Right.
Mouthpiece came off my vape, so I'm going to be looking like I'm deep throating a robot.
Good thing you're not on video.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
You've just got
But-
your
Thanks for telling us.
classic
That's
image.
cool.
Wait, so you can hear the music now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's great. We won't be singing it for you.
Welcome everyone to this
Oh, it's
very
gone.
exciting installment of the Journeyman Questers. Today we have a catch-up from Josh, Ruthless Suncrest. What kind of background, ambiance would you like?
Something stoic, something thoughtful, and something fantasy based.
Loading Bowerstone.
Perhaps this,
We need guns. Lots of guns.
if it loads.
That sounds great. I like that.
Okay. Take it away when you're ready.
I didn't think I'd have to return to Solwich for a long, long while. I wonder how it will feel to walk among the streets of the city, whether I'll feel the familiar warmth of youth and the naivety of a privileged life. Or will it feel tainted? Will I feel the grasp of Christoph from the cobbles beneath my feet and the screams of the people being slaughtered in the night? But now we have no choice. We have to reclaim the Sunstone. Is it even still there? Has Bren managed to infiltrate Soulreach already? And is he manipulating Christoph from the shadows? I wouldn't doubt it. That insolent excuse of a man, a writhing mass of worms in the form of a human. How can Christoph live with himself for all he has done? He must know deep within. He must know deep in his soul his existence is superficial and empty. He is no nephew of mine. He does not deserve to wield the name of Suncrest and fly it from his banners. I can only hope we don't have to encounter any of the Blackfriars either. There is only coldness that lives in their hearts. Whatever the case, we will have to tread carefully. I know not what Christoph wants to get out of this summons, Its very nature is suspicious. We should attempt to get out as quickly as possible with the sunstone in hand. Yet, my thoughts are drawn to one individual. If only we could discover what happened to Talura, to Fleet and Elgrin's mother. Perhaps we could even rescue her from Christoph clutches if she is still alive. All I know is that she was taken captive during the usurpation. Surely without her, the industry would have collapsed by now. Oh, my poor friends. I do hope I'm not dragging them into something they may regret. However, I do wish to see their eyes when they look upon the province for the first time, to see the warmth of the sun cascade down into the sweeping valleys and melt upon the surface of the land. It is truly a beautiful place, and I do hope that one day it can be saved. For now, though, we have business with Heath Elwyn, the keeper of documents and histories within the province. If anyone knows what's going on, it'll be him.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Very good. So, previously, have I got a lot of background noise?
Nah, you're all right.
Okay.
Pretty clear.
The Gypsies saw from their ordeal with Oshkar Silvermark within Ungmiri itself, you set about first thing reincarnating Rinnick to a human form, a now very old human form. You spent time down in the Grove. You then returned to Ungmiri, prepared yourselves for the coming journey, set Siegfried off on a journey along with a good few swords down south to the Varanmark. And then you travelled by tree east back to the Aeocene forest, which we can see here on the map, where you appeared stepping from one of the trees. You could see before you the great tree of high canopy stretching up and up and up, an enormous gargantuan tree of epic proportion, so tall that the area around it, a good 100 feet or so between the canopy line, the tree line, and the trunk of the enormous tree, completely barren, pretty much of naught but foliage and small shrubs, as the light from the shade of this great enormous tree doesn't allow for much to grow on the forest floor. And stepping out from this tree line, a good 100 or so feet from the door of High Canopy, you could see silhouetted from a glowing interior two figures. One of Theanor, the great Minotaur, Archdruid of Earth, and Belemkander, the Archdruid of Water. Noticeably with child. And you saw them raise their hands to you, and a soft voice floating across this glade said, "We have been expecting you. Welcome back, Archdruid of Air."
Zook kind of looks around and looks back to Belemkander, saying, "It's good to be home. Will we be welcome?"
You're still a ways off. You moving towards the door.
Do I think she can hear me from this distance?
So the voice seemed to carry across to you, a soft voice, not booming, not echoing across, but kind of penetrating through, cutting across you like water.
I start floating towards the door. And
Is everyone else following?
Yes.
So the rest of the Gypsies of Fortune, I should explain, we are unfortunately do not have Rolo this evening, although he said he'd be back next week. But Varian is with you. I'll just be Varian for the time being. And don't worry, he's not a doppelganger. He's legit a real Varian.
That sounds like something a
We
doppelganger
don't know
would say.
that.
That's like something a doppelganger would say. Yeah, I mean, you don't know. You never know. You don't trust me. You begin stepping across the kind of shrubland. You can see there's a few peculiar shapes, almost like mounds or statues covered in moss and ivy that kind of protrude from the ground, almost like standing stones in various spots around this clearing between you and the tree. And as you begin to approach, you see a few green creatures begin to emerge or be disturbed by them. And you see a small, almost lizard-like face poke out from one of the tops as kind of a part of the underbrush moves off one of the tops of these maybe 20-foot kind of stone pillars. Although you cannot see the stone, it's just covered in moss and leaves.
Gigantic ghillie suit.
A head pops up, and you see a kind of crude flint head arrow being pointed towards you from an even cruder bow. And the face looks down. It's you! It's him! It's Richter! And a kind of cry comes out from a few of the others, and other things begin to kind of move and pop up. Some birds kind of squawk from the nearby trees and fly off. And you can see the green kobolds begin to emerge from these constructed watchtowers covered in ferns and ivy.
Marvelous.
Begin to all kind of like run eagerly off in your direction.
I step forward with arms outstretched.
They don't run to hug you, but they all begin to kind of gather between you and the and Belemkanda and Thiazi in the doorway. A crowd of maybe 20 or so green kobolds, all armed to the teeth with various kind of bone and flint and wood weaponry, even with kind of like wooden plated armor that they've kind of patchworked together. There's a couple that have in fact, you look up hearing some cries, and you see a couple of the winged kobolds with their kind of like makeshift wooden and hide wings. Their gliders begin to descend off parts of the tree and come kind of gliding down and landing in various spots, kind of looking about, and all kind of like saluting and looking official. And one older, more battle-hardened kobold comes forwards, which you recognise as Ruzzo.
Ruzzo! Requisitions Officer Ruzzo!
He kind of comes up close and salutes.
I return the salute eagerly.
All is in order. It's good to have you back, sir.
It is very good to be back, Ruzzo. How fares Sheriff Duke and Foreman Zork?
They fare good. I believe Duke has the southern breach, and Zork to the east.
Very good. I look forward to overseeing all your works of the fine Kobold Union.
Yes, and he turns and shouts something in Draconic towards some of the others. No one speaks Draconic, do they?
No.
No. He shouts something.
Varian does.
Varian does.
Varian does.
Varian turns to you and says, Richter, what is this pixie madness?
It's collectivism. We killed, you don't remember? We killed their king and taught them the honor of working together and sharing the fruits of their labor.
I was not there for this.
Of course.
I was but in the Shadowfell at the time.
Of course, you wouldn't have enjoyed it.
The battle was already ensued in Cinderhelm.
We were killing a dragon. You'd have not enjoyed it.
And these dragon kin?
These are the kin of, I believe, I say in a low voice, Sakai, the Viridian dragon. Oh, is it? Okay.
Duke, Ruzzo kind of shouts some orders in Draconic to some of the others, and they kind of like run off, looking like we got to get things in order really quick, and they begin kind of running off in like knowing they've got an inspection coming. And Ruzzo kind of wipes some sweat off his snout and kind of steps to the side as you begin to walk towards, kind of flanking you, almost in like a guard-like formation as you begin to approach the doorway.
I've got a Cobalt Vanguard.
Well, they've really come a long way.
Hmm.
They've discovered flight and everything.
No, they already had that. You saw
Yeah, I
a
think
couple of them. They'd made that pulley system up to the top, and there was like some of the winged ones were already there.
I think, wasn't the king that we killed a sort of winged one?
See, now Aiden's really quiet for me. I
Oh,
don't know about
okay.
anyone else.
Test
Yeah,
again,
quiet
test
for me.
again. Test
Yeah, a
again.
little bit.
That's good.
Test again.
That's
That's good.
Good.
You approach Belemkanda and Thiazi, and they both kind of smile towards you, Zook, as you begin to approach. And Thiazi, his brow begins to furrow as he looks towards your broken form, floating slowly towards them.
My lady of the rivers and the sea, my lord of the earth and the stone. I can see in your eyes that you possibly have some questions about my current predicament. That would be fair. It seems that fate has aligned me to the air and the skies, not in a way that I would expect. It's good to see you both. How fair is the forest?
It fares good, Zook. Things are good here now. And he kind of like has one arm around Belemkanda, and she kind of just strokes at her stomach a bit. Come inside. And they both turn and begin entering High Canopy.
Follow on.
As you walk, Belemkanda turns to you, Zook, and says, "My lord of the air and storms, how fares the west?"
The West is in some turmoil. We've become embroiled in powers that threaten not just there, but here, possibly all of the land. We will need to talk on this. But please, ill tidings later. What of this child? You're expecting a new life?
They both kind of smile, and she says, "It will be born of the earth and water, and blessed by the air."
It's a wondrous thing. Thiazi, you scoundrel.
All right. It was a long time coming.
I bet you were.
Excuse me.
Apologies.
His-
I've been
his-
hanging around with some unsavory characters.
His Minotaur face like becomes blushed somehow through his thick fur.
That was most unbecoming.
You may rest a while here. I know that you do not plan to stay very long, but you may rest in the pool and bathe yourselves if you wish. Inside the grand chamber, the base, the hollowed out base of High Canopy, it is changed since the kind of war camps that resided within. It's now all of this kind of indoor flora and all sorts of like kind of more shaded plants that need less light. These kind of like large dark ferns, even some big mushrooms have begun to all sprout and grow and create this sort of indoor and gloomily lit kind of grove almost. Many insects and animals and birds flitter about within here, creating a kind of menagerie. You think back to the time that this existed as a kind of kobold sanctum with, you know,
Shanty town
of goblins and kobolds, and even when the orcs ended up coming in, and it was then used as a war camp, even fires being burnt within the tree, and now it's kind of returned to this natural glade within itself. And as you look up, you can see a faint bit of light is streaming down. And you look up and a core has opened up in the tree. And you can see a faint pinprick of a circle far, far above. And light just softly streams down and kind of blankets out into the interior.
Much has changed. Is this part of the tree's healing?
Who knows, Zook? I mean, High Canopy does what High Canopy wishes. Oh,
Indeed.
there's a few friends of yours here, and you can see up ahead, Luthra, Umtrau, and Numbra kind of come running out from what you can see are some kind of low-built, moss-covered huts inside the glade. Ah, Zook, it's good to see you.
Luthra, Numbra,
Ah,
you're
they
well.
kind of come in and hug you, and
Oh, careful! I limply hug them back.
How fares things in Ingmiri with the rest of the family?
A few hiccups, I have to say. Some questionable tidings. Well, listen, Rinnick may have come to some ill fortune and he perished, but he's not dead. He's not dead. I brought him back from the dead. You may have heard this happening. The druids have this ability, but he's not quite the same. He's not a gnome anymore.
Right.
He's a man.
A man?
A very old human man.
Well, I mean, he always was different, that Rinnick.
He
Handy
was.
sod. Glad he's not dead, though.
No, you should come visit the Ingmiri
Oh,
at some point.
They kind of both look at each other. It's not really for us, Zook. I mean, half the clan chose its direction, and the other half we want to stay. Nature's the way. I don't understand how you could live in stone walls and.
Well, I don't, but I understand how you feel about this. Nix Silverthread, the old rascal.
Right. Yes.
Have you heard from him?
No, I mean last I saw him, he went with you to Mary, your town.
Right. Well, listen, he's not to be trusted at all in any way.
Yeah. Well,
He is.
always a dubious fella.
If he makes contact, please tell me. Do not do anything that he says. He is most unwelcome in any home or with any companion of mine.
Okay, noted. Will do. Oh,
I hope that.
how long you staying for, Zook?
Well, not long. Perhaps just part of this morning. We'll say hello. We'll rest our feet. But unfortunately, I have friends. Well, this motley bunch.
See, well, it's like the druids say. They say the arch druid of air, never could sit still. Always about.
No.
Wasn't one to rest here. I mean, who was it before? The big owl that dwelt here.
Aye, it was.
The previous arch druid. I forget his name.
It was Ellis Amberwing.
Aye, that was it. Well, I mean, I hear that he didn't always dwell here. Only in old age did he come back to his roost and sit as guardian and eyes of High Canopy. Perhaps one day he'll come back. I mean,
Perhaps.
we're still young. We're still young gnomes. A couple more
We are.
centuries in us.
Indeed. I feel like most of my life is ahead of me, especially having met the Gypsies. They keep me feeling as young as the day I was sprouted from the burrow
Oh,
into the world.
And Number kind of turns to you all and, well, I have to thank you all again for, avenging our burrow and dealing with those pesky dwarfs. And I mean,
we haven't got no burrow to go home to now, but you know, this is... Who'd have thought we'd be living in High Canopy itself? Residence here. It wouldn't have been heard of.
It's an unexpected turn of events, but I believe a positive one. I think we can...
I've been growing a lot in the glade. Help yourself. There's plenty of herbs and shrooms and all sorts of things you can, might tickle your fancy.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Just, go amongst the garden and take what is there. Give back equally. You're the Art Druid of Air. It's not my garden. It's technically your garden. It's High Canopy's garden.
It is the
When you
garden
say-
of those who nurture it.
Big man, what did you say?
When you say leave as much as you find, of what?
Well, it's a give and take, isn't it? Like, if you pick some berries here, you consume them, let them go back to the dirt eventually. Perhaps plant
I don't
a few.
suppose you're
Or-
partial to a little fresh game. I'd be happy to exchange some for your fresh produce.
Ooh. Oh, yes. Kobolds aren't great hunters, and, neither are we. But, hey, if you've got fresh game, the forester are plenty.
I'll just hand him over a couple of rabbits that I would have hunted the previous morning.
Oh, thank you kindly. Perhaps I'll make a stew. Luthra, look, and he kind of goes running off. It's nice to see you, Zook. Hopefully see you soon, and your gypsies. And they kind of disappear into the things.
Oh, it's been a while. Good to see them. Right. Upwards then, I suppose.
Thiazi turns. Well, how long are you staying, gypsies? You can bathe in the pool, but if you're not going to be here long. Oh, and he reaches into a pouch and turns to you, Brother Draug. Pernima left this for you.
Well, that's thank you for hanging on to it for me. In fact, I was gonna inquire about her whereabouts. This might save some time. Thank you.
She turned up about a moon ago, and alive, well, and said she was headed. And Bellum kind of turns and says she headed north.
North is whereabouts north? Did she give any indication?
She left with her kin. Seems the roving group are on the move again. But I think
see.
she said it all in the letter.
Well, thank you again. I was concerned for her safety following the battle, so it's good to know that she is well.
They begin to head up. You can choose to bathe in the pool. You could explore the glade. You can go see the kobolds. Up to you what you guys want to do here. You're only stopping briefly, so.
Yeah, I'm just letting the kobolds take me around the battlements.
Okay, cool. The kobolds give you like a tour of their defenses and what their lookout, their watchtowers.
I take like several moments to sort of like stop and like stand next to them with my arms around the shoulder, smiling like some dumb like sort of Soviet poster. Kobold striding into the future.
They like dote at your every word, and
It's owns.
like any sort of compliment, they're like, there's tears in their eyes, and they're like, they know they have done well.
Glorious leader.
At some point, we do need to count how many I've got, but I would like to make a point of like chiseling out one of the jewels that's in my Gith armor and like presenting it to them as a continued token of Richter's like everlasting respect for the Kobold Union.
Duke, Zork, and Razzo take it gleefully between them, and you can see they're all holding it, and they're all kind of like,
This, my friends, is how you will prove to everyone that you have redeemed the kobold race in your ability not only to form together and create a grand society, but also to recognize that this is not merely a possession for one of you to own and covet, but a great grand star for all the kobolds to march towards.
Right. So who gets it? Who gets it? Do we fight over it?
And Duke like tries to snatch it off one of the others, and Razzo's like, no! I'm munitions officer, it's mine! And they begin kind of the three of them fighting for this gem.
I am, in fact, very impressed by your continued fervor for the great kobold dream and this 5-year plan of ours. And so, I will, of course, reveal my true nature was to give all 3 of you a gem. I pry 2 gems out and sort of smooth that over.
The crowd begins to gather of other kobolds, and how come they get gems? Why don't we get gems?
Because they are Duke, Rozzo, and Zork, the vanguard of the kobold revolution. Follow in their footsteps, and you too will one day be a kobold with a gem.
Make me a deception or persuasion, your choice.
Okay, we're gonna go for that. Yeah, we're gonna go perception. We're gonna go persuasion. Yeah, we go.
Depending whether you're telling the truth or not.
Okay, and I'm using emissary, so I get another +5 to this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be d20 plus this 19.
The crowd,
Wow.
looking like they were going to jump their officers, back down, and Duke, Zork, and Razzo look very pleased with themselves, and they're each comparing their gem to each other. They're like, "Mine's red," and they're like, "Oh, well, mine's green like me," and they're kind of comparing them.
Trying to persuade a chaotic, evil creature out of its very nature.
Yes, the oath of redemption is a hard path, but I walk it nonetheless.
What are the rest of you doing?
I want to take a cursory look around the garden. Just not extensive. I'm just going to see what's available and maybe pick a few things out for my herbalism bag.
Okay.
And then I'm going to head up to the pool.
Roll me a. Essentially, it's another component from. You get like a. What was it? A herbalist bundle. So roll me a d6.
Okay. It's a 3.
You gather a bundle of ogre ear.
Ooh. Got that now.
It can be. Oh well. Roll me a herbalist check or a nature check.
Herbalist is
Herbalist
wisdom
is whiz, yeah.
with proficiency, I think. Okay. It's a 14 plus 10, so 24.
Oh Jesus. Ogre ear, when consumed raw, will give you advantage on your next attack roll.
Ooh.
If you brew it in a potion, it can become potentially either a hill giant strength or a potion of growth.
Oh, nice.
Roll me a d4. This is how much of it you get.
Okie doke. 1.
1 plus 1. It's always d4 plus
Okay.
1. And of course, this is brought to you by
Oh.
James.
Aiden.
Mr. Sir James Gifford.
Oh, sorry again?
This is brought to you by, of course.
Oh my goodness, what are these amazing devices you have in your hands? Without these, oh my god, with these, the entire world could be rent asunder. You must be very careful and don't put them in your mouth for the love of God.
Fantastic. Yeah, the herbalist bundle, thanks to the assorted magical items from Mr. James Gifford.
Fresh.
So you're having a look, ponder through. Anyone else? What's everyone else doing?
I'd like to make my way to the very top of the tree where we fought Zakai.
Okay. In fact, Thiazi places his hand upon the wall, and similar to that of Zook's teleportation through the tree, the bark kind of opens up, and you can see through the top, and and he, like I guess you said where you were going. He can teleport you there through the tree itself.
As he does that, actually, I'd like to invite him to join me and Bellamkanda, as I'd like to have a word with them as well.
Okay. Yeah, they move through, and you all three appear on the top. As you come out into the kind of dappled sunlight, the various branches of the tree kind of coming up to create this huge canopy that overlays the forest. You can see out just across this expanse of the Eocene, the mountains on the northern side kind of cresting, and you can even see from this height what you assume to be the faint distant horizon of the Glinting province, your homeland. So, child of High Canopy, what say you?
Rufus would like to. He's going to walk over to like. Does it look like the same as it did when we fought the dragon there?
It's kind of like an amphitheater set up, so the tree comes to a kind of flat top, but the branches all kind of arc out from the sides, and the top is like a hollowed down amphitheater with like as the rungs and the rings of the tree slowly, the concentric circles get lower and lower. So you fought the green dragon within this section, and it is pretty much the same. It was originally covered with gold pieces, but the tree sort of absorbed them into it. The main change is that it is almost entirely caked in bird shit. And looking up, you see like hundreds of multicolored birds, all just nested in its canopy, and amongst them, a very large shape, kind of shifting.
Oh, a rip. I looked at Thiazi and I say, would you care to join me? And I gesture down into like the middle of the amphitheater. And then as we're walking, I'll ask him, Thiazi, if I may, I'd like to ask if you'd heard any news from the east, from the province, from the valleys.
We don't get much news here, Rufus. What we do get is glimpses, questions we can ask. Bellamkander's one more for this than I. She often goes down to the lake or the river and asks it the important questions. She sees things that of the future and the past and the present. But no, as for news, we do not. Although occasionally we see some of the roaming orcs, the only news that I can tell you of is that Cinderhelm is now some kind of monument to some travelers. The orcs said they saw some tents, some folk not of the Eocene camped up there. Not sure what they're doing, but there's some people there.
Interesting. Did they bear any markings, any sigils?
The orcs scouted them out, and they said they just seemed like peasant civilians. Perhaps after some fortune of the amount of platinum that there is. It's highly sought after in your civilized kingdoms, is it not?
It is. That was to be expected, I suppose. Well, thank you for telling me. I shall have to ask Bellamkanda, as you say. And at that point, we get to the center of the amphitheater, and Rufus is going to kneel down and put a hand on just somewhere on the wood, maybe where there isn't as much bird shit. And I'm going to use my primeval awareness, the pact of High Canopy that I have, which I can sense if there's any like aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead within a mile. But
I think you
it's not
decide
really. I'm not
which-
actually looking for anything. It's just more to feel the tree, and I'm just gonna close my eyes and take a deep breath and let the pulse of the tree flow through me as well. And take a moment, and then stand back up and look back to Thiazi. Thank you, Thiazi, for keeping this place safe, for helping to make it what it is. I consider this a second home now.
You are also a child of High Canopy. There will be a new one soon, but you are the most recent.
And he reaches around his neck and takes off this kind of like large beaded necklace that he wears, and he hands it over to you.
I have no use for this, but please, take this.
Truly a gift. Sure, I'll take it.
Not every man of a civilized nature would so easily and readily take on the nature and its beliefs and the power within. I sense that you are not a man of destiny or fortune in the natural sense, but I sense you are changing. There is something about you now. Perhaps once a man of iron, now a man of wood. Take these beads.
It does feel that way. Well, thank you, Thiazi. I don't know what to say.
He hands over these kind. Oh, damn it! Because of my thing. They're called blessed beads, blessing beads.
Oh, blessed beads!
Blessed be the beads. I will. Whenever you identify it, I'll send you a picture of it.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, and then we'll make our way back, and I'll try and find Bellum Kanda along the way.
She's up there with you. They both came through, but she's standing up, kind of nearer the ledge, looking sort of off across the horizon.
Okay. I'll walk up to her and I'll sort of ask her the same question. If she'd had any premonitions, any foretellings of news from the east, from within the empire.
She closes her eyes.
I have not. Perhaps if you stay longer, I can go down to the river and ask the questions that you seek. But I feel that you have someone with you, someone of equal strength and power, someone who could ask the forest these questions you seek. Look to the air and the sky, my child.
Rufus nods.
They both turn and open another portal and make their way into the inside of the tree. What's everyone else doing? If there's anything anyone else wants to do.
I'd like to, I don't know, maybe find like a quiet sort of perch or something on High Canopy, or perhaps another tree. Like just climb up it, find a little place where I can make myself comfortable. And I'll open this letter and have a read of what it says.
Okay, I will send it to you, and you can read it in your leisure and decide whether or not you want to indulge anyone else in it. I think that's probably cooler. What's everyone else doing then?
Richter will simply spend the rest of his time here engaging in passionate songs of revolution with the kobolds and sharing days of wine and roses.
Dutch, what are you doing? You haven't really done anything.
What time is it?
It's morning. You left fairly early. So it's I'd say maybe 9 in the morning still.
So who else is about? There's the kobolds, the archdruids,
The gnomes.
Yeah, the gnomes, and that's as far as you can tell. That's it.
Is that orc family with the magic child around?
No, you ask about, and no, they've made their way back to they had that house. They don't live in High Canopy.
I'm just gonna pull out like what would be today an A5 sort of bit of tanned leather, like just veg tanned leather, and just practice doing some tattooing.
Okay, cool.
What I can see, and yeah, just some shit.
There is one other thing I was going to do after
Yes.
my cursory look for things is go find Rufus and take him to the pool and be like, you should rest in the pool. It's a powerful place, and I feel like you of all people will need to have that rest. And there are some things I need to say.
Very well. We shall bathe.
We shall talk.
You make your way to the pool, and it's almost the kind of heart center of High Canopy. There's all these roots that come down from the ceiling of this wooden spherical room that all slowly drip down into a pool beneath. A pool with strange lily pads that cover it. You remember they had this like white bloomed flower that seemed to attach itself to Thiazi when he was originally injured within the pool. The tree itself nurturing and giving him life. And you placed Belamkanda within this too. But there is no white flower that has bloomed. They just sit stationary as their kind of lily pad green forms. But the pool itself reflects this light that kind of washes and shifts on the various like bumps and grooves of the interior wooden room.
I'm just going to get down to my sort of rags, my undergarments, and slowly float down into the pool and kind of sit on the edge and take a deep breath in. Please, do get in.
Rufus does the same. He just takes off everything and clambers on in.
The water is it's as you get in at first, it's almost you don't even notice the temperature change. It's like matched almost exactly to the body normal kind of body temperature as you enter. But eventually you start kind of feeling its soothing nature on your skin. Its kind of calming smell to it, and you begin to kind of immediately grow sleepy and kind of melancholy within the pool as you both float.
Zukas, is this where it happens?
Where what happens?
The gnome initiation.
I think you may have the wrong idea, Rufus. There's no gnome initiation. You're a gnome. You are part of our. No, it's not weird like that. Please.
Something that
Get comfortable.
Wiggins Nigel said. I guess he was having me on a bit.
Wiggins has a cruel and a nasty sense of humor. Don't take him too seriously. I've fallen for that one before.
I've been waiting for that day ever since.
Well, maybe we
Anyway,
can make
carry
it
on.
for you.
Anyway,
Listen, you're an old friend, Rufus, and the things I'm about to say to you, I say as a child of a world, and less as your friend, as someone that has guidance for you. It's time to take stock and to root. You have to remember, that now the tree is a mother of sorts to you and deserves respect and attention. You need to let her guide you. She's your home as much as Soulreach is. They're connected, Rufus. Deep in the earth, in the rivers, in the flowing winds. These things ebb and flow all over the land and the sky. Now, you come from a place where borders and land is divided up and owned. But borders are the tools created by man to give the illusion that they have conquered the world. What man does not realize is that he is just another drop of blood in the vessels of the world. There are those to the east, in your home, that are unaware of their minuteness. We need to remind them. Now, breathe in, like me. Take your mind through the roots from this limb to your home, to that city, and breathe out. It's just another limb of that body. Can you feel the familiar soil, the land stretched out in front of you, the same scents in the air that you have known your entire life? They are here, Rufus. They are yours. They are the trees, they are the skies, and the mountains. It is all one, and you are one with it. Now open your eyes and breathe in and out. These are some things that
kind
we
of
should remember.
Rufus looks kind of like shook by what's just happened, this kind of revelation that he's had within himself. And he takes a moment to really come round again. Those are some of the truest words I've ever heard spoken, Zook.
They're not
You
mine.
know,
They are the trees.
they're not.
They are the lands. They are the truth. Anything that you know so profoundly is something that comes from the world. It's not really your own. It's another voice uttered through your tongue. It's part of being a druid, is knowing you're part of something bigger.
You know, ever since I was reborn, thanks to your help, soon afterwards I started to have doubts and strange feelings that I'd never had before. And I think that it's what you speak of now. That part of me, the man, it still lurks within me, a man of stone and borders and rules and regulations and expectations. But now I feel my grasp is loosening on those things. I care not for them anymore. I see people like Christoph, and part of me doesn't feel angry anymore. I see it's almost all meaningless.
That's called accepting, growing, becoming the seed that blooms into the flower, into the tree, into the forest. It's good, Rufus.
It is. It is good, isn't it? Yes.
Mighty. Now, watch
Yes.
those pits,
Thank-
because I can
thank you,
smell
Zeke.
you from here.
Okay. I will.
And I start scrubbing down my armpits.
I'll be doing it and then looking back at you to make sure I'm doing it in the right way.
Obviously, Josh, you already have an inspiration dice, but Rupert, you may also have an
I
inspiration
already
dice.
have one as well, unfortunately.
You spend some time.
I didn't have one, but I'll take it.
Well, you got one from your intro. You spend
Thanks,
some
Ian.
time washing and bathing in the pool, and you both feel at peace in the knowledge that this entire forest and the heart of the forest is now back to the old ways, back to nature, back to the rhythm, the ebb and flow of what it should be. And the tree hums with that life. It no longer dwells locked within this one chamber. It spreads out through the entire Aeocene forest. You almost feel that under your feet. As you are bathing, Ruthus, you begin to kind of feel something at your leg, and you look down, and part of the vines have kind of attached themselves to you. And they begin to kind of crawl and wrap themselves around your thigh and become quite tight.
Zook,
do you resist?
Something's happening. I don't know if it's a gnome thing or if it's a tree thing or...
It's more likely a tree thing than a gnome thing.
Okay.
Trust the tree.
I'm just gonna go with it. Ruthus tries to relax.
The vines begin slowly creeping further and further up your body until they begin essentially constricting you. And to the point where they constrict your entire upper body and legs and just float you there in the water for some time. Your head is still free, although it's like kind of crept around the back of your head. And then it pulls you underwater. Zook, you watch as the vines just slowly take him down and begin covering over his face.
I guess that's supposed to happen.
The water does not breach through this vined cocoon, and it reminds you of when you first came to after the fight with Zakai, when you were cocooned by these vines and came out reborn with part of the life essence of this tree within you. He does not return for some time, Zook. As you sit and kind of wait by the side of the pool, maybe an hour goes past, until eventually the vines rise back up out of the water and slowly unfurl. And Ruthus, you kind of awake once more, not quite knowing how long you've been asleep. And you feel as it kind of moves away from you, the vines kind of exit from your ears and your mouth. You cough and splutter a little bit as the kind of these roots and vines kind of begin to finally make their way from your body.
Are you okay? Lord Rufus?
I'm not sure what just happened, but I went with it.
Yeah, I think that was good. I trust the tree and it brought you back, so we should be fine.
You see as Ruthus climbs out of the pool, what looks like crumbled stone or earth that's caking his skin just kind of crumbles off and splashes down into the pool. But other than that, you're not sure what's happened.
Does my skin feel any different, or to the touch, or?
No, you kind of rub at where this kind of coarse stone like kind of protrusions are on your skin. It's like you've been caked in mud and it's dried and it's crumbling off. You kind of brush it away and it becomes coarse and pebbly and falls back, but your skin is perfectly fine underneath.
Well, I can't tell you what's happened, but I'm sure you'll feel better for it.
Perhaps this is, as you said, is the way of things. Maybe I don't need to question it.
Maybe there is a gnome initiation. I didn't know about it. There you go. Who knew?
Let's just consider it let's consider it a mother's embrace for now.
Sounds good. Shall we find the others? I'm peckish.
Let's.
Zook, you leave the pool and you feel a great sense of sort of pride and satisfaction. And you look down and you see, as you begin to put your clothes on, your neck has altered. And gills have appeared. And they eventually kind of fade away from where they were. And the webs between your gnomish fingers kind of recede. You can level up. And as part of that, you have gained the ability of casting Alter Self at will.
Oh, snap.
Which is
Snap.
the next level thing.
Yes. Oh.
So, Meta, tell us, what is that? Is that like different from Disguise Self?
So Alter Self is like you can create like claws, or you can create guilt. You can sort of manifest your body in a more animalistic way, but I think it does involve possibly changing your appearance as well.
Sure. So it's not just like it's not just a visual disguise. It's like you actually grow claws.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like the difference. I imagine it's like that gillyweed thing in Harry Potter. It's like it's changing your actual physicality rather than an illusion on top of it.
It's like Dutch's old what the hell was that potion you used to drink?
Polyjuice.
No. Back when he was Vincent.
What?
Oh yeah.
The serum that you used to drink.
Mutagen. Oh my god.
Mutagen. Feral mutagen.
That's years back. Wow.
Old school vibes.
Yeah.
Alchemist
Classico.
is fucking amazing.
Well, you can play an alchemist as a
blood hunter.
A blood hunter, and you can play an alchemist as a artificer. So there's two ways of kind of doing it. There's subclasses.
Okay.
So they're pretty cool. The alchemist in the blood hunter is cool. It's the mutagen one, whereas the alchemist in the artificer is like bombs and stuff.
Yep.
Whereas this was a Pathfinder both, just completely OP thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Sweet.
Well
so
done.
basically, I can look like a halfling or a gnome at any point. A completely different appearance.
You can change your nose and your eyes and all sorts of cool stuff.
Sick nasty.
Amazing.
Brother Draug, you finish reading your letter. Dutch, you finish your practicing of tattooing, and everyone rejoins back down in the glade at the bottom. What is next for you, Gypsies?
Well, I'm about done here. Does anyone else need to do anything whilst we're in the forest? If not, we can take to the skies and we can start heading for the Glinting province.
I can't think
If
of
that
any
is the case, then we should decide where we're going to head first.
Well, Rufus, that's entirely up to you. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Ruth is going to get the map out of the province map.
Okay, I'll shift over to the province map then.
Provence.
Do we think it might be necessary to reach out to those that we wish to seek first? Zook and
I think
Richter
that could
have
be a wise course of action.
capabilities to check in with any of your old friends or family.
Can they do that, meta-wise, if they've never met them?
No, I have to have met. I'm pretty sure I have to have met someone to send.
With a creature that you are familiar.
So I could have like seen them, or is that not quite enough? Do you have to be like on a "Hi, how are you" level?
I think just seeing like an illusionary image of them probably isn't quite enough.
Fair. Fair enough. Okay.
Although you've kind of done it in the past, but
Well,
I
we
think
can say that, that was crazy old days. Who knows what happened?
it's someone you're familiar with, and I think just seeing a picture doesn't mean you're familiar with that person. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I can't, unfortunately. I didn't get that spell ready. Sorry.
That's okay. So yeah, Rufus lays down this map of the province down on the floor in the glade. I feel as we're heading into this area, I should give you a little heads up as to the kind of people that we might come into contact with. So looking at this, the first sort of home closest to us now is Blackfriar Keep. The Blackfriars, they're the second biggest family in the province, and they were the ones to align themselves with Christoph. Christoph used their power, their military might to overtake the province. There's a couple of members that we should probably look out for. The head of the family, his name's Malvo Blackfriar. He's just a thug. He's a beast of a man, huge. Enjoys toying with people, breaking them, and to be honest, is not much different for his children. He's got 2 daughters, one named Yasha. She's the kind of person that likes to lurk in the shadows and torture people. The last I heard, she was helping Christoph with intelligence. That's all I know, really. The other, I would consider her more dangerous than the rest. Her name's Celeste. No one really knows this other than those close to her or in the family, but there's something odd about her. Something in her blood. I think she may have something divine about her. In any case, it gives Malvo a justification for his actions. He sees his family as being blessed by the gods, or somewhat. Celeste is married to Christoph, and she's a symbol of piety nowadays. But really, she's just a snake. Her manipulations in the court are incredible. Further to the south, Elwyn Tor. Now, that's the home of Heath. He managed to keep himself neutral. However, he's the keeper of histories and documents within the province. So, if I was going to trust anyone, it would probably be him. The others, well, the only other family of note is really the Keys, and you know them. You know Wayora. The only thing I want to know is where Talura went. Talura was Fleet and Elgrin's mother, and she went missing during the usurpation. And other than that, I don't know if she's alive or dead. And as for this, and then Ruth is going to get out the letter that Christoph sent.
Oh yeah, I'll flick to that.
I have absolutely no idea what this means and what he intends to get out of this. So, if you have any suggestions or insights, I'd love to hear them.
So we've been beckoned for a meeting that we don't know what it's about by a man who previously was trying to see your demise. I mean, I don't like it.
Exactly. No, I don't understand what he could get out of this, other than perhaps just capturing me or humiliating me or taking me prisoner.
I have a potential idea, if you'd hear me out. Do not know what you'll think of it, or whether or not indeed it would work.
Please.
I suggest that we do indeed meet with Christoph. However, there are those among us who are able to change their appearance. I do not think it would be wise for you yourself, Rufus, to do this in person. But what if another of us, disguised as you, were to meet with Christoph? It is merely an idea. It might
I
need
see
some
what you're
fleshing
saying.
out.
I see what you're saying, but I would feel wrong putting you in that position. Someone in that position.
To be fair,
Rufus,
I had considered this as well. It is not necessary to transform into you and appear before him. We could simply have you seen in some territory as some quick distraction. All it takes is for a couple of guards to see you crossing a way station, and then for them to immediately lose you. We could use this power to throw the kingdom into disarray, but as you say, it would seem quite dangerous to meet.
I would happily do this for you, Rufus. You have helped me many times in the past. And I know I do not possess the silver tongue that Richter does, and I'm sure in this situation, if he were to disguise himself as you, this could be very advantageous. However, I am skilled in being able to get myself out of a pinch. If I was to disguise myself, I do not think they would be able to capture me or put me in chains or anything like that. I think I'll be able to escape. I feel like Richter, I respect your idea here. However, what would that achieve? But meeting with Christoph and finding out information, what it is that is going on within this region, and also what it is that they intend to do about the existence of Ingmiri. You've said before that he threatens Ingmiri in some kind of way.
Exactly. As it says here, catastrophic consequences.
Well, we don't have to we don't have to risk Ingmiri. We can indeed meet with him, and I think this could be a potential solution.
I mean, the case must be, Christoph would not expect you to have any kind of teleportational powers, something that those of us with the ability to disguise as you would possess, perhaps. I mean, Draug is correct. We would have advantages.
That's true, and we should use all the advantages we have. I just don't want to put you in that position, Draug.
Rufus,
if you were to perish, then your soul would be lost forever to that devil.
I strongly believe that it is highly unlikely that they will try to kill you. I think at the most they will try to capture you first. I would happily do this thing. The safety of Ingmiri is paramount. That is, if it is on the line, then this is something that I would happily do. My only concern is that
we have no information.
My only concern is that I would not be able to persuade them that indeed it was truly you. It is not my strong suit, as it is Richter's.
I would be, of course.
Well, perhaps it won't come to that point. Perhaps if it comes to that and we can see that you're in trouble, we can get you out of there. However, the thing that bothers me is that we have a distinct lack of information at the moment, which is why, looking at the map, I think we should try and see if Heath is at home. He, more than anyone, will know what's going on in the province, perhaps what Christoph really wants. And more than anything, we should not forget that this isn't really why we're here. We're here for the Sunstone. And getting our hands on that is going to be another matter altogether, as it lies directly outside the front door of the palace.
Well, if I was to disguise myself as you, you might be able to slip in, invisible, or however we decide to be able to. If it is any of the other stones, you would be tested by merely touching the stone, and that is a way to claim it.
Is it guarded, Rufus?
When I left before the usurpation, the front of the palace was just a place for people to gather. It's almost like a public garden.
Will there be nothing stopping you from walking up and touching the stone?
Back then, I guess not, but who knows what's in place these days? What's changed? I know not.
If they are unaware of the true significance and power of the stone, then what's to say that they would do any extra measures to stop us? You are changed, hooded and cloaked. Who's to tell you from another gnome? They're not looking out for someone of your stature. It's possible that we could sneak into Soul Reach unnoticed. Many of us can change. And we could try and claim the stone before he even knows we're there.
Meta-wise, Tashi, do you remember those elven ambassadors that came to Unmiri?
Yes.
Was that post gnome form?
That was... I can check actually, because it's in my notes. Good point. So... it was during the year of downtime that you had, is when they came. It was Yelborus Quell, along with that kind of wizard, older wizard guy.
I think he was still a man, wasn't he?
Huh? So
Still a man.
at that point he was. However, I think after you came back from the Aesine, you then did have a conversation with him. You did have a conversation with him because they were cross that you just disappeared for ages.
Okay. Yeah, I'll like just remind everyone that there were those ambassadors that had seen me change to a gnome. It may not be a secret after all.
Can't we just turn you invisible, though?
That might be
I suppose we could.
And well, considering that these ambassadors are familiar with the rest of us, they may be looking out for us as well. Might be wise.
Blend in.
Well, Dutch.
It's hard to know.
Particularly good at that, but others in our group not so.
Those just meta-wise, those ambassadors weren't from Soul Reach. Those ambassadors were just from the Empire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. That, I mean.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
I'd say we just put him in kids' clothes and walk him in.
Have a shave. Yeah. Well, if no one else disagrees, I think we should head to Elwyn Tor first. Heath may have some valuable information as to the ongoings of Solreach at the moment. And he's a lovely man. Well, a lovely halfling, I should say. Good old friend.
To the skies, then. My favorite part of the day.
So you're traveling via mist form?
Yes.
Before we go, Zook, I'm going to just relay what Bellum Kandarin said to me at the top of the tree about looking to the skies and to the earth if I wanted to know more.
Oh, you have questions.
I assume she meant you. You don't have any way. I don't know.
I could try. It's not really. It's normally something answers that I get locally. I think perhaps I could give it a go. I can commune with the nature around me, but normally it only tells me things about nature around me. But I could see if I can somehow use that.
No, it sounds like we won't get the answers we need from that.
Suncrest.
Let us go.
You wish to know the knowledge of the future? Says Varian. I have the abilities of Bahamut, the North Wind himself.
And I have the power of my gods, so...
Your smelly beast gods.
If the power is within you, then I say use it.
Meta-wise, Varian can cast Commune.
I can also cast Commune.
Saying that, let me just check whether he has it prepared.
Or is it just more like...
That doesn't kill things.
Yeah. This doesn't have the word lightning in it.
He doesn't have it
The
prepared.
enemies of the Platinum
He
Dragon
doesn't have
must
it
be...
prepared, sorry.
Does he instead try to touch the North Wind and cast guidance on it?
Guidance? He just face palms and casts guidance.
Sea of Blades!
Yeah, no, he doesn't have it prepared, sorry.
That's good.
So we can use me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to ask him?
It's once a week. I don't think it's been a week yet since you last cast it.
It's definitely been a week.
I think you did it... When did you last do it? Did you do it while you were in the tower in the astral plane?
No, I did it during the bomb scare.
Yeah, so that's literally
Not
a day or two
yet
ago,
today.
so you can't do it.
That was today, wasn't it?
No, it's been
yesterday.
It's been a day. Yeah, it was yesterday that you did. It's not even been 24 hours. Literally last evening. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was 2 weeks ago in real time.
Yeah.
Looks
So
like
be
we're
it.
going in
Time is
blind.
of the essence, gypsies.
Okay.
I tap my staff on the ground as leaves start to fall out from the canopy and swirl around us, and slowly our skin just pops into little puffs of steam,
Richter is very excited to fly again.
and we are enveloped in a swirling wind
Whoa!
So
and can move at
let's
300 feet every
have
round.
a look. High canopy. It's around here.
A wind.
I want to say it's like here or something.
Yeah, where's Elwyn Tor?
Elwyn Tor is right down here, Josh, near the wood.
Oh, okay.
It's like here. Because the Glinting province, only Blackfriar Keep is here. Do you see that red dot there?
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of the border. The land that's here is home to the other house that owns White Rock. It's like the other province. Yeah, it's still a ways. It's quite a ways. it will probably take you pretty much the entire journey, but at like a full dash, and you potentially might become pretty exhausted to do. Are you measuring it out, Rube?
Yeah, wait, so you said it's by the woods.
Yeah, and the ASE
What is it, 5 miles?
Yeah.
60. Carry on while I do this.
Okay. Regardless, you stand out. In fact, Belemkanda and Thiazi open the tree, and you all step forwards to the very top of High Canopy. And as Zook casts the wind about you, each of you, your forms evaporate into that of mist. And from your vantage point atop High Canopy, you begin coasting off in a southeasterly direction. As you break from the top of High Canopy, the canopy itself explodes with birds just shooting off in all directions as Tiki, the great winged rock, erupts from the top of the tree, coasting with you for some time until you meet the edge of the Aeocene forest and all of the birds bank and turn back. You continue to fly southeast. Did you measure out?
165 miles.
And how far can you travel?
280.
Yeah, but that's at like a double dash, right?
That's I think that's at normal pace. Yeah. I think it was based off like moving at normal pace in travel time. Something.
Yeah. Okay. So the Glinting province. Welcome. The land before you rolls comfortably, like large green and yellow waves. Small thatched houses and farmsteads can be seen dotted amongst small woods of oak and beech trees. The crops here of the fields begin to turn from the yellow of wheat to a rich violet shade of purple, blanketing the countryside. Rufus, you're obviously very familiar to this, just the rolling purple landscape of the Glinting province, the kind of bluish purple of the flax as it begins to turn to blossom. I would like Rufus, you can roll me a d10 for your travel, please.
Oh, okay. D10. Is that a D10? Yes. I got a 9.
A 9. As you begin heading, racing across this like, it's just such a different feel already. The mountains sort of to your far north bank across, and even from your high vantage point, you can faintly see just about the shapes of them on the horizon, on the northern line. And as you begin heading southeast over these rolling hills and just farmsteads, stone walls, it becomes that civilization. And for the Grey brothers, it's slightly kind of worrying inside. There's something deep down, even within you, Brother Draug, the Dylan within you, remembering making your way through the Glinting province on your escape out of the Empire itself. And this is the first time you've properly returned to, even on the outskirts, still the Empire. It is more civilized. The areas of land have been cleared of trees, and there are big swathes of farmland. Although it is still very much like rural countryside, it still feels very civilized compared to that of the Great Lakes and the Rift, and even the Varamark beyond. The kind of scrubland and tundra seems so rugged and harsh compared to this quaint countryside world of rolling hills and small brooks and forests and streams. However, up ahead, a great billow of black smoke rises beyond one of the hills. And as you begin to approach, cresting this hill, you can see one of the fields is just ablaze. Half of it, now you can see the fire itself down on the crops, just slowly moving forwards, coating this entire area, and getting closer and closer towards a large farmstead on the other side of the field. Zook and Brother Draug, with their passive perceptions, would be able to see figures running through the flax, kind of breaking lines in the purple of the field, and throwing buckets of water from what looks to be a relatively dried out stream, like under some brush, along the corner of one of the fields.
How far away is this?
Approaching rapidly. You're flying fast. You're almost at the point where the black smoke cloud is kind of coming towards you, so you're about to kind of break into the cloud.
Can I fly down?
You're flying as like a 6, and you see the kind of mist form of Dutch just woof, go down.
Following after.
Following.
You all begin slowly banking down. Dutch, where are you headed?
I'm going to go to just before the fire, basically. I'm going to try and get up near it, not in it. Transform back into Dutch.
It takes a minute, just so you know. So
Do I have to stand completely still?
You do. You have to stand and concentrate for a minute in order to turn back.
Okay,
You're incapacitated whilst you do it.
Yeah, I'll do it I'll go a bit away, like a bit.
Are you going to land where the fire is going or where the fire has been?
No, I'm going to go where the fire's going.
Okay. You land kind of towards the edge, where you land kind of on the edge of the field where the short trees and what looks to be a ditch with a relatively small amount of water within it.
Yeah.
You land there and begin turning. I am assuming the rest of you gypsies are also landing too?
Yeah, Richter is going to land, but quite a bit further away, sort of in the direction that the fire is heading, but like a fairly significant distance, like maybe almost like halfway towards like the farmstead.
Okay. You all land wherever you want to and you begin concentrating. Dutch, you turn back into your normal form. You can see the flax isn't too high. It's for you, it's like up to your chest. And you can faintly see across it. You can see just smoke. It's basically a wall of just smoke billowing up as the fire just slowly kind of moves, catching fire to the next bit and the next bit and the next bit. And you can see a few figures, farmers in kind of overalls and kind of worn clothing, rushing with like leaky buckets and throwing it on. You hear a voice shouting, "It's no good! It's no good, get back!" What are you doing?
I'm going to put both of my gloves on and stand in front of the fire and do a big steamy clap.
Are you giving air to the fire?
No, because it's steam.
Okay.
You run forwards, slapping both fire and ice together, and you hear an almighty as steam evaporates around you. You wait, and you can hear the crackling of fire, but where you are in this 30-foot cone, it's not managing to breach its way round. However, it's cut it off, and both sides of the fire are still moving, either side of you. Although you can't see that, but others can. You've all turned back into your normal selves. What are you all doing?
From where Richter landed, quite a bit up the field, Richter starts focusing on this, as this is like a flax field, he starts focusing on this tilled earth, and he starts trying to build, he uses mold earth to try and create a 5-foot wall of earth to sort of like shift some of that flax back a bit. So there's like a kind of an earth buffer, and he sort of makes sort of gradually makes his way across the field, trying to create a wall that spans the length.
Okay, what's everyone else doing?
Are there any bodies of water or barrels of water anywhere near? Oh, sorry. Are there any? Is there any like water source anywhere?
You run to the ditch, and it's a muddy ditch. It's in the shade, but it's like puddles. It's not a flowing stream. It's it's late summer heading into autumn, and the rains haven't obviously blessed this area yet. You could probably try and draw water from it, but it wouldn't be a lot.
Yeah. Instead, I'm gonna reach to the skies, and there's a and I don't create water, but wind starts blowing gently back against the fire to try and blow it in the opposite direction to the already scorched earth.
So you're standing where it's headed, and you're blowing it.
And I'm blowing it back.
You can't really see too much over the flax, but you watch as all of you are hit by this like wave of air as clouds begin to gather around above Zook. And what are you casting?
Control winds.
You're all buffeted, and all the flax begins to kind of bend away from Zook as this air buffets back. The flames brighten with this infuse of air, giving it extra life, but it has slowed it down somewhat. The actual embers that were kind of moving and catching light to the next sections are kind of held. It hasn't put it out. In fact, the flames look bigger.
Shit.
A farmer, an older man with a longer grey beard and like completely bald except for like that scruff of hair that goes around the sides, runs over to you with like a bucket which looks like it's got cow's milk in it. He looks over at you, the wind kind of blowing him. What are you doing?
I'm holding it back, or trying to. Where's the nearest water?
There isn't really any. We've had a drought for too long, hence the fire. And he runs off, and you can see him throw what little milk they had onto it.
That's some good exposition.
Let's have a look whether Varian has any useful spells.
I'm going to take a fortune's rest, and he has a sleep.
Varian, the wind whips about him, cast from Zook, and you see Varian run to this man and say, "Fear not, peasant." He raises his claw to the sky, and you watch as around him barrels of food and water begin to appear. I need to see how long it takes.
No brandy, guys, just the wine.
As he casts create food and water. It's just an action. 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water on the ground or in containers within range. He's going to do it within containers, within barrels. These barrels just begin to like appear from a like bright glow as the wind blows from them. Varian rips open one of the barrels, and inside water spills out, and he begins. He grabs the bucket off of this man. Insolent fool! And he begins like chucking water from the barrels onto the flames.
I'll lend a hand with this as
And
well.
I'd run up and down clapping.
How much can you cast it?
I think it's like 3 times, isn't it?
Check though. I think it isn't good enough.
I like a 90-foot total coverage.
Rufus, what are you doing?
I'm going to pick up one of the barrels, lift it up overhead, and then run along the edge of the fire, tipping it as I run.
Some of the villagers and farmers kind of gather, watching you all kind of get to work. Some of them joining in, and some.
It's twice a day.
Where'd all the water come from? And Varian just kind of laughs, throwing buckets of water. Collectively, over the next sort of 20 minutes or so, the fire is extinguished.
Hey.
We did a thing.
Hey.
Nothing's for free.
Wherever
And then we all high five in a circle and shout, "All in a day's work for the Gypsies," and then turn into air and just soar off.
Yeah, Richter starts making his way towards the crowd, leaving his useless dirt wall behind, seeing that the fire's out.
It was a good effort. Sandcastles against the sea, pretty much.
Lateral
That was a legit
thinking.
strat.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the endless uses of mold earth.
I love it. It's my favorite fucking thing.
It would work if you just cleared like a long enough trench. Then yeah, it would just burn itself out.
But then all the flax is gone, I guess. So who cares?
Not in one trench.
The older farmer kind of steps forwards from the crowd. They all kind of just look wide-eyed, and the older farmer steps forwards and says, "Who? Thank you all kindly. Name's Lamb. He saved my farmstead. Who have I to thank for this deed?"
Well, I'm Dutch, and I lead this here ragtag group of renegades and vagabonds.
And our name is the Silver Shifters.
They
And then I
scratch their head.
nudge Dutch.
Make me a deception roll, please, Zook.
Proficient in these now.
Oh yeah.
And it is 11 plus 4, or 5 plus 5, so 16.
They kind of look about and, oh, well, thank you, Silver Sifters. And like, yeah, thanks for that. The old man kind of steps forwards once more, scratching his head. Oh dear, gonna have to get tilling again, boys. He turns around to the others. Where'd you come from? One of my lads said he saw you come down from the sky.
I'm an angel, sent here by my gods to do work for men and spread joyous cheer and feelings of kindness.
I might be old, but I ain't stupid, boy. You don't look like no angel to me.
Have you seen one before?
You were a racist.
Oh, fair enough. I haven't seen one before. I wouldn't imagine though angels having tattoos like that. And he kind of points at the ale jugs and the women and things that you've got on your body. Nothing about race, friend.
Well, yeah. I'm just gonna walk off.
What do you think started this fire here?
Aye, scratch your head. Aye. Oh, well, it happens regularly this time of year. Just might have been one of my lads drinking, left a bottle out. Bottle caught the sun, hit some of the flax. Very dry, dusty ground this time of year. Well, thank you anyway. Silver Shifters, was it?
Aye, the Silver Shifters. I give everyone a very, knowing look.
The group of farmers sort of look at each of you in turn, kind of taking you in. And they all kind of nod. Well, Lamb steps forwards. I could offer you a meal. We don't have much in ways of trade. Not sure how I can repay you really, but I don't like to have anything over my head. What could we do?
Perhaps you could be if anyone asks, not that they would, perhaps you don't tell them that you saw a strange group of travelers pass through this way.
They look to each other, especially seeing kind of your visage, your dark eyes under the brim of your hat. That I can do. And Lamb kind of steps forwards and puts a hand out.
He's
To you.
I'll-
To you.
to me. I see. I'll shake his
Oh,
hand,
he's
and
blind.
in my palm is a gold coin.
Was he able to see his hand?
Yeah. The way that Dylan's senses work, it's it's not like echolocation. It's like the noises and the sounds create visuals in his mind. You know, he gets that kind of.
He's like
hint.
Daredevil.
Kind of like the rustling sleeve
Yeah.
and stuff.
So hence why illusions wouldn't necessarily ping up because there's no noise. But more complex illusions have noise. So
Dylan can always hear it when it takes you 2 swallows to get a mouthful of tea down.
That's a big mouthful of tea. It's all in your teeth. Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Tea in the
Yeah, so
tea.
I take his hand and I
Speaking
try
of
not to make
tea-
eye contact because I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. So I'm using my hat as sort of
Yeah.
to hide my eyes. But I will palm off a gold coin. I'll just say, just a little something to help you rebuild, restock what you've lost here.
He pockets it away, sort of out of sight of the rest. Says, "Don't worry, man of my word. I'll make sure none of the others say anything."
And remember, discretion would be much appreciated.
They
I
nod and
sup-
carry
I
on.
suppose another favor could be you could tell us how things are in the province.
Not from around
Aye,
here,
we
then,
have
I
business
assume.
in the city.
He sort of looks you up and down, Rethus. Well, province is much it has been for a while. I mean, busy time of year. Flax is coming into flower. Well, I don't know. We got plenty to do. Don't know what kind of questions you're after.
Well, who governs the land?
Well, that'll be the Suncrests.
I see. And which one in particular?
Well, I don't know. Fuck if I know. Some toff called Christoph, I think. And one of the others is like, yeah, someone called Christoph or Chris something or other.
I see. Is he a good lord?
And one of them spits on the ground. Is like, nah, none of them ever are they? Looking down on us folk, us hard-working folk living up there in their palaces. Only time we go to Soulreach is to take the linen in.
I see.
Can't stand the place.
Well, glance back awkwardly at Rufus. We'll be on our way then, and leave you to your crops.
You begin kind of all leaving, and most of the farmers kind of just move off, but a couple of them just stand and kind of linger, watching you all leave in a suspicious kind of way, until Lamb turns and says, "Well, yeah, what are you gorping at? Get back to work." And they all kind of begin walking back to the farmstead. Varian says, "Wait, peasants!" And a couple of them turn. "We have no need of this food. Bahamut has blessed you this day with ale and fresh meats. Take what you will." And he begins to leave as well.
I'd like to address the group as we put some distance between us and these farm workers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that certainly was a good deed. However, I can't help but think that was an unnecessary risk. One of those fellows is bound to talk to someone of importance, and our presence will be known whether we like it or not.
I don't know. They didn't seem like they mingled much with anyone of importance. And if so, they'll tell them that they saw... Well, hopefully they won't tell them anything.
How many people were there?
Maybe 12 or so farmhands. You can imagine that like
12
this
farmhands.
farmstead sort of spans probably a good portion, but they're all here trying to put this fire out.
12 farmhands, Zook. I know you are naive to the ways of this sort of living, but one of those fellows will be drunk later in some tavern, and his tongue will be loosened, and no doubt people will overhear. If you think that this won't get around, then I'm afraid you're mistaken.
Yeah, but our meeting's when?
Tomorrow.
It's true. We have
The
the
information
time
won't
on
get
us.
from a farmhand to the fucking palace in a day.
You are right, Dutch. You are correct in that regard.
It's a good
But
point,
still,
though. We do
Those
need
are
to...
wise words, though, Dylan.
I guess we need to stay ahead of it.
So
So,
it's that quickly.
yeah.
We know this already.
Well, let's
So-
get to this.
You concentrate for another minute, and it will begin taking off once more. As you begin to leave, Zook, you kind of glance back, and you can see a few of the farmers sort of watching your your white trails of mist heading up towards the clouds. One of them kind of points, and the others kind of look at him, and one of them slaps the other one on the back of the head. You begin coasting further through the fields, the purple fields, heading further southeast. You can see a few main roads. Oh, Mike, you're calling me. Nice.
Hello?
Yeah. 1 sec. You can see a few kind of main roads, and you see a kind of big junction where there looks to be a larger cluster of farmsteads. Ruthus, you recognise this as where the Blazing Spirit Inn is. Probably one of the larger kind of wayside inns between Elwyn Tor, and you realise you've kind of veered off too far. You begin kind of arcing and making your way back. You begin crossing over towards where you can see the large river glistening sort of ahead. Can someone roll me another D10, please? In fact, let's go with Zook, seeing as you're the one doing the spell.
D10. Okay. It's a 5.
It's a 5. Ooh. There's a small wood nearby, and you see breaking out of it. Those of you with higher perception, passive perception, so Zook and Brother Draug, you see breaking out from the tree line some what look to be bison or wildebeest of some kind. Ruthus, you just about kind of make out these shapes, and you'd recognise them common in the Glinting province. The kind of these like yak type creatures that have been kept as livestock, but equally kind of roam free over a lot of the Glinting province. And you see them charging, maybe 6 or 7 of them in a small herd, and on their heels you can see there is what looks to be a couple of people, one riding a horse, and the other a cluster of perhaps hunters up ahead. As you begin to kind of coast over, you kind of watch this is definitely the wrong music for this. You watch this sort of hunting taking place. The horse galloping behind, scaring the wildebeest towards the hunters lying low up ahead behind some of the hills and trees. As the wildebeest get close, some of the hunters spring out, and you watch a few arrows kind of fly towards them. You see a couple of curses until one of them kind of jumps out in front, trying to tackle one of the wildebeest, but is knocked flying from them. And you see them tumbling in the ground, getting trampled by them. A couple of the other hunters begin to run over to them. And you see, not only were they running from this person on horseback, but equally, Zook, with your higher passive perception, you see a small pack of wolves that were following the person on horse. Oh. The wildebeest now kind of moving off away, and the person injured being tended to by 2 other people. You can see these wolves now beginning to slowly creep, unseen by these hunters, towards the kind of ridge of the hill where they are sitting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll personally, as we're playing Good Samaritans already today, I'll try and find a place to turn back into my physical
and once
form.
more, you coast down, and we'll have a small break.
Hey.
All right.
I'm excited to kick some wolves in the head.
Are we still streaming?
We are. What I'll do is I'll mute us, and then I'll just carry on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be. I've got to run out the shop. It's only gonna take me like 5-10 minutes, so I'll be back by the end of break.
It was very
Yeah,
good.
I thought we should have a moment, but you almost
that
kind of
was-
did it. I was going to do what you did when you went to the top of the tree, and were like, "I want to feel the tree. I want to feel the thrumming." And I was like, "Oh no, he's doing it without me." That's all right. I'll segue a different kind of moment in.
Yeah. No, man, that was great. That was amazing. I thought, like, I didn't know that you'd planned it, and I thought you were just doing it like off the cuff, like some crazy RP. And I was like, oh man, this is great.
Yeah. No, I wrote a little bit in.
The only reason I knew that it was written was because I saw you look down to read something, and I was like, "Oh fuck, he planned it." That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I realized at the same time.
There were bits where I was like, "Oh, this needs to make sense. I need to like fit it into the little intro."
I mean, that's
But
like
yeah,
everything I ever plan. If I write stuff, I have to then only
You gotta
read certain
adapt.
bits of it, because
Yeah.
often descriptions of places that I write are from you arriving by foot, but of course you're going to be arriving potentially by the sky, or you might be arriving some other way. So a lot of it's written from an angle that doesn't make sense. So I have to kind of read it and translate it to make sense as I do it.
Yeah.
Any new places,
that happens a lot.
It'll be a bird's eye view. Places we know, it'll be like a tree that's in the heart of it.
Oh, panettone, toasted and buttered.
Oh, yeah. And we've got some pistachio cream, which is really good on panettone.
What?
It's like peanut butter, but not salty. It's like sweet and pistachio flavored.
Oh, what?
This is my nut face.
What the fuck?
Pistachio ice cream.
How was that even made?
It's like so smooth that it must have been put through like a ultra blender or something.
God.
It's really good.
Pistachios.
Yeah, to an absolute cream. But
I put pistachios. I made a pistachio pasta a few days ago, and I'd sat for fucking ages peeling pistachios because I thought it would be cheaper and better
I've done
not
that
buy them
before.
like that. That's
Buy
just
them.
who I am, and then I realised after I'd never do that
Just-
again. But
Just buy them.
I put them in my coffee bean grinder and grind them up that way, and it
Oh, that's
Oh
good.
no!
yeah, it worked really well because they literally went, "Meow, meow." They're like the same size as well.
Love the idea of you grinding pistachios to that epic music. Like,
Oh, I love it. But I think that would ruin my coffee grinder because it's like one of those electric ones, which you just pour the beans in and just grind it.
Oh right, no, mine's
yeah.
like it's electric, but it's like a little food processor. It's like a
Oh,
mini
yeah.
one, and you
Yeah.
put it in, and it like you'd press a button.
nice, yeah.
I
I could never go back to like just pre-ground coffee now. Like just grinding
it's
coffee in the
ruined me.
morning.
It's fully ruined.
It
me, yeah.
smells so good. Like I grind it in the morning and I'm just like,
Yeah. Because as soon as you grind beans, they start to degrade. So within an hour, they're like not as good anymore.
yeah,
So if you're buying
Really?
pre-ground, they're just always going to be not as good.
yeah.
Although saying that, I've had this bag of coffee beans for like ages, and I feel like they're not as potent anymore.
I mean,
No,
with
the
me, it's
beans
like
will
I
as
drink
well.
the bean. I drink the beans within a week at least. I think. I'm so.
Yeah, I've had
finicky
had
about
this
it.
bag of beans since Christmas, so I think
Yeah,
I
too.
need a new bag.
Yeah, probably like you want to drink it within like a month or two. Maybe.
You can
It's
freeze
like-
beans.
Yeah,
I had them in the freezer for ages, but I kept having to get them out of the freezer all the time, and
yeah,
they were like getting a bit wet, and so I thought it was
Yeah.
bad.
yeah. It's not ideal
Oh,
to
yeah.
freeze them because of the moisture. I
Put
think
them
I
in.
need to get another layer.
put them in tiny little bags that you can take out individually.
Started doing Birdman's beaks, I should say now.
Ooh,
Bix.
I want to get him done so bad. I changed the edge highlights on his wings, so I had to go back.
Oh my fucking god. I'm so psyched to get that White King. Holy shit.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
The rat guy.
Oh no, the white
White
the
King.
White King.
The mounted
Oh,
White
yeah,
King.
man.
he is.
Ah, that is just the dream.
He is.
gonna be
Does
so
look
good.
fresh.
I want to look at photos of him again.
So good.
I think I want to convert a load of Lumineth into Dark Elves.
You keep saying, man, you've got to do it. You've got to just do it.
I don't know. I'm pretty like the thing is like with the Zinch stuff, I can just get like there's so many options because I can get all the slave stuff, and like
That's true. You can keep
There's-
expanding it.
yeah, there's still quite a few bits. I think once I've got like a few lists that I want to actually play, that's pretty like competitive. Then I might slowly start doing it. But I just need to find some bits that I can do. Like maybe some of the like old Dark Elf heads would be good.
So it's for a new list.
I want to convert the Lumineth into some Dark Elves.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Because
When's it starting?
I love powerful shit. I've decided.
What happens with your powerful shit if it gets nerfed though?
Well, that's why you have. That's why you just jump between like loads.
That's
of
why you
stuff.
save money
Yeah.
to be ready for
You
that.
say it
Well,
gets
that's-
nerfed, but if they get nerfed, they just become like normal, regular
mid-tier.
mid-tier armies.
Well, the Lumineth book's very well written. It just is. Actually, I think it's fine. The Lumineth book. The really like nasty stuff is basically IDK and Seraphon, really the two, and Zinch. To be fair, the Zinch is annoying because it's like 50% of the book is good and 50% of it is good, but like some of it, the Zangor stuff and Acolytes are just so bad. Like
It's so
comparatively.
annoying that so much of my book is good.
Yeah. 50% of it is really good. Yeah, no, but it is really good. But it's like, okay, but if you want to, like, I mean, yeah, if you have to base, like, I mean, Zangor just are bad. Like, they're so bad.
It's
I
annoying
managed.
to have to be forced to choose certain things because
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's kind of like
Yeah.
well I can choose something good
Yeah.
and it be good,
Yeah.
or I choose something I like but it's bad and then it's just bad. So
Well, when I got the Zangor stuff, they were loads better, and then they nerfed them twice, and then made the demon stuff better. And so it's just like, oh, great! I spent all this time painting
I'm back.
this.
okay,
I'm still.
I just need to go grab a
can-
jumper.
we can go.
I should have done it before instead of jumper.
Oh, okay.
You're right.
You have to run outside for a smoke, Aiden.
Sorry, I wanted to run for a snack.
Snacks. Snacks.
Yeah. I realized I had all the snacks, and I felt bad about it.
Very good. So, you all land. Are you landing? Whereabouts are you landing? Are you landing like near? Are you landing
Far, wherever
far
you want.
away? Like how far off are you going to land? And so you've essentially got you're maybe 200 feet from the edge of the wood. There are wolves slowly creeping up on a group of 3 hunters, one of which has been trampled by these wildebeest.
Are those of us without perception aware of the wolves? We can't communicate as gas, can we?
No,
No.
you can't. But you see
Right.
that who was the
Why not
first
sign
to...
language?
Brother
It was
Draug-
Dylan. Yeah.
Brother Draug was the first to dive, and so I assume you then all follow, and you can...
Yeah.
Most of you from this point can't see the wolves, but can see the 3 people.
Dylan's setting up for something, so yeah, I'll follow his lead.
Yeah.
I'll go down.
If 2 people fucking peel off, Dutch is going to peel off. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wonder where they're going. I guess they quit.
Is there any way of landing where they like won't see us land and turn from wind?
Yeah, you could land on the other side of the. So they were sort of crouched down, hiding amongst some. There's essentially like a ridge, and there's some trees on the top of the ridge, and that's where they are now. And the wolves are slowly kind of moving up this ridge towards them. I say ridge, like a slight hill. You could land on the other side, kind of down the hill a bit, out of sight from them, on the other side of the hill. If they were to move to the top, though, they probably then would see you.
I want to land exactly where they are.
How far are the wolves from the people?
They can see and attack you
They're-
even if you missed one.
At the moment, as you begin to kind of come down, they're probably like 50 feet away from them.
Oh shit! So, yeah, I mean, I'm probably,
So
I'm probably
Brother
going to
Drow,
go
you
away.
were first to dive, and you're diving to somewhere out of sight.
Yeah, out of sight, but close, fairly close to the wolves. I've got a plan.
Okay. You land, you begin changing. Dutch, you just a like mist form land right next to these three people. You can see a probably like early 20s woman. One of her legs is bent the other way. Her bow that she had is like cracked in half. She's covered in kind of like cuts and bruises from where she's just been trampled. She's breathing like she's wheezing, and the other two are kind of crouched over her, like sort of panicking and tending to her, bows sort of down by their side. As soon as you land, this like mist form, both of them kind of turn, seeing you land, and one of them's probably about the same age, early 20s, a mop of sort of like sun-kissed orange kind of hair, some orange sort of bum fluff coming through, not a very good beard, and the other one a slightly older man, probably in his 40s, potentially their father or something. He has a sort of receding bowl cut and also sort of hunter's leathers and furs on. They both turn, the older one pulling a dagger and facing this like mist form. What are you? You can't say anything at this point. You're literally stuck for a minute, turning.
Can I point over at the wolves?
No, you have no limbs. You are mist.
And
I am just
also,
missed.
you don't know they're there, do you? I don't think. Is that right?
No, Dutch has no idea there are even wolves there.
Yeah, so I just land by the people to go, hey, what's up, bro?
What's going on here?
You can
The leg
see.
is kind of fucked.
You can see them both turn and say, "Uncle, maybe it's an angel or something." I think not, child. And they kind of both look warily.
Look at those tattoos.
Tend to your sister. And she's like coughing and wheezing on the ground. Richter, what were you saying you're doing?
Oh, just Richter saw Dylan and then followed by Dutch peeling down, followed suit, noticed Dylan heading off to some specific location and knows Dylan well enough now to know not to, fuck with his actions. So he sort of followed Dutch's more brazen shroud and lands nearby.
Okay.
He sees the wounded woman and is like, oh shit, best transform, and begins trying to transform.
Ruthus and Zook.
I'm going to swoop down closer to the wolves. I want to try and look to see, do they look undernourished?
Love my fucking gnome friends.
I mean, why aren't we saving the bison is my question.
They're hungry. Why are they hungry?
The bison are being hunted.
They don't look particularly undernourished.
Okay,
But
I'm going to
they're
start
baring
doing...
their teeth and they're in hunting mode. They're slowly approaching, probably chasing the bison before, but now.
And now seeing her.
With one of the humans fallen, perhaps easier prey there.
I'm going to start swooping in front of them and try and distract them and just throw them off a little bit.
A couple of them sort of like glance up and are aware of you, but it's like a bird getting in the way of a wolf on its hunt. Like they ignore you, but they kind of try to avoid you, but they're not deterred.
Okay, I'll land behind them on the crest and start turning. So they're not going to attack me.
You'd have to land further downhill if you're behind them. They're heading up towards the three people.
I'll do that.
So yeah, you land behind. Ruthus, what are you doing?
Having -3 wisdom, I've not noticed any wolves or Dylan or Zook peel off from the group. So I'm just going to land next to the people and transform in front of them.
They all are like, sort of turn towards these three misty figures. And the younger man says, "Oi, oh, by saloon. Why, maybe they're us. Maybe they're our spirits. Maybe all three of us are dead." "Quiet, child. It's nonsense. There is no such thing." As they stare towards you all, the girl coughs a bit. "Uncle, what's going on? Maybe it's father. Maybe he's back." And at this point, Dutch, your mist form kind of apparates, and your imposing orcish
An angel.
stands there. The boy's like
A beautiful
eyes
angel.
widen up. What do you say in this moment?
Don't worry, lad. I'm a guardian angel. Wait, I don't know the wolves are there, do
No,
I?
but you know she's injured.
Her leg. She looks imperiled and injured. Let me help her, and I just pick her up.
Oh. Well,
Say.
roll me a deception check first.
Boy, I'm not
God.
evil.
I ain't never seen an orc before.
The 12.
Take kindly to you Tusky boys around here.
The older hunter with the dagger out says, "Stay back. Stay back. I don't know what you are, but
Oh, see, I'm a half orc. Yeah. And then this right next to me here, has Richter appeared yet?
at this point Richter would apparate too. His
It's
gleaming
right
plate
there.
and
Yeah.
flowing cape and halberd
He,
at his side.
he was a human, and now he's a GIF. So,
I know.
Oh, yeah.
You might
Yeah,
notice I'm
yes,
still. No. I've been like I haven't changed into a gift
Oh,
yet.
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
holding my human form since Miri.
Yeah, because you have your new evocation.
Yeah.
I mean, they still don't relax.
Here we go.
Please, we're just trying to help her.
I extend a hand forth with my halberd, trying to appear a very image of the sort of, what brilliant, resplendent knight. And I'm like, hark! Your companion is injured. Please allow me to help her with some of my healing magic. She does not look like she will last much longer. And I want to roll persuasion.
Go for it.
Go.
see?
Have I
Angels.
have I reverted back to
15.
So I'd 15. I say at this point, yeah, you've reverted back to. You can see the wolves are now maybe 30 feet off.
Okay. I
Approaching.
would like to do hybrid transformation, and just like on all fours, just like go barrel towards the wolves, snarling like as if I am another rabid wolf, like another wolf.
Make
and I'm
me
gonna try and
an intimidation roll.
okay.
Alpha those betas.
A 2.
I'll give you advantage though, seeing as this is, the situation
Yeah.
is that.
I was
you're
more
able
gonna
to
go.
do this.
I was gonna more just try and see if I can decipher which is the pack leader, and then just go in for an attack against
Fuck
the
him.
pack
Sure.
leader and
Make
try.
make an intimidation roll regardless. So
Sure,
roll
sure.
again just to see.
Oh, okay, that's better. Am I still do I just do -3 charisma still? Is that like still part of this roll? I don't know how it
this
works.
would be so. Sometimes I allow strength to take
Yeah.
the place. So if you add your strength bonus to it, because
Okay,
you're
so that's a
intimidating
17.
in your like form and your presence as the wolf. A 17.
Yeah.
The wolves immediately, like smelling you, turn all to face you, and you do see one larger grey wolf. Still, these are normal-sized wolves; they're not dire
Yeah.
wolves.
No.
You are, sort of the same size, if not slightly bigger than one of them.
Yeah.
They hold their ground in their pack, but you have totally disrupted the hunt, and now
Yeah.
it's the hunt is no longer on, and this grey wolf, seeing you charge towards it, its fight or flight kicks in, and it is choosing to fight as it bears down angrily.
Am I able to do any more actions, or is that sort of me done?
I would say you're charging towards it at this point as
Yeah.
as Richter, you reach your hand forwards. He doesn't intervene, and you place a hand upon her. What are you doing?
I want to cast Lay on Hands. Let's say 5 points.
5 points. It's enough to kind of heal her kind of cuts and scrapes. It's not going to rebend her leg, but the glow of your kind of runic magic glows bright, and they all sort of, oh, thank you, as they hear this growling. Both of the the older man stands up looking down, and you turn and you can see Brother Draug in the form of his hybrid form about to clash with this alpha wolf.
There's a whole thing going on over there.
I'd like you all to roll initiative, please.
Oh,
Yes.
Yay!
Yep.
Oh,
Very cocked.
got a 1.
Ooh.
What is it? Sorry, this is so dumb.
great.
What is it you add to initiative again? I really should remember that.
Dexterity.
You're
Oh, that sucks. All right. I thought so. I was like, that can't be right. Okay, fine.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. That's so sad.
So we can do.
Oh, I need to.
Oh shit, yeah. On to roll 20 now, son.
oh.
Whee!
We're in. Is this our first combat? No,
Yeah.
No, we have one.
no,
right-
it's not.
right at the
We did
beginning.
Who?
the gift tower, the library.
Oh, that. Oh, we only got like 2 turns of combat.
Not sure how we're gonna
That's
make.
good. Oh yeah, actually.
Yeah, we clevered our way out of fighting the shadows
We'll
in the.
use Siegfried as the. We use Siegfried as the
Wolf.
as Varian.
Of course, his lady.
Okay, I've put the turn order in there, so you can input what you rolled into it.
Can we?
Yep, you should be able to.
What
Just
do we
double
do?
click.
Nope.
Oh yeah, hang on. It might be because all of these tokens are messed up. They're all messed up. Hang on.
Hey-oh.
Hey, or
God damn, messed up tokens.
you know what it is. I need to do this, and I need to grab. All of these.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are these messed up tokens bothering you?
Fucking hell.
There we go. And if I add turns like this, now can you do it?
Black Power Dutch.
Yeah.
love it.
Because you have control over them.
So there's a table you can get for gaming on your.
Oh my God,
couch
Dylan.
with a mouse and keyboard,
Natural 20.
and it costs 150 fucking quid.
Oh, I got a natural 20 as well, but the wolves probably don't have a +6.
Oh wait. Oh.
Ugh,
Oh, Dutch.
How does this work?
wow. What did you roll for that?
How do I put this in?
You,
That's crazy. You got a
click
plus
on
140.
your name on the turn order, on the number, by
On,
Richter's picture. Can you see where it says turn order?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you scroll down to where your picture is,
I see me.
is the number, can you change the number by clicking?
Can't
on
seem to. Yeah,
Oh,
clicking it's not doing anything.
because you weren't. Hang on. Try now.
Hey, a
You
cursor
weren't
came up.
worthy.
Control.
There we go. Ah, fuck's sake, come on.
it?
Hey,
Bam!
bam!
Oops. Okay, we have the turn order there. Very nice. So, let's do this with it, so everyone at home can see. So first up.
Do you want me to roll for Varian?
Oh yeah, please roll for Varian. Varian has a -2.
He got a 5.
So
A 3.
Oh.
First up, Dylan. It is you in your primal form.
Gripping the earth with my hybrid claws, I stare down this pack leader of this wolf, and I hunch myself down, and then I spring towards him to make a couple of attacks. My intention is to sort of disarm him and get the wolf pack to back off and flee without trying to kill at least of them as possible.
Okay. You clash with the pack wolf. Make your attacks.
Okay. So first attack is a unnatural 20.
Ooh.
That hits.
Hey now.
Okay, so just some damage. Okay, so that will be 7 points of slashing damage with my first claw. And second attack, that will be a unnatural 18.
That also hits.
Okay. For another 7 points of slashing damage. And finally, bonus action to do another. I'll just for flavour. I'd like to say I've done a couple of claw slashes, and then sort of with one arm around him, I'll just sink my teeth into his neck.
Nice.
Oh, that's cocked. Keep rolling it on my keyboard. Okay, so that's an unnatural 22.
That hits.
For that will be 10 points of slashing damage.
The bite slams into the nape of the pack alpha wolf, and it lets out a yelp, that of a dog, and it backs off away from you. Next up is the wolf's turn. It begins to kind of limp backwards, and you watch as the rest of the pack kind of sniffing the air towards this dog. They all, their eyes avert from yours, their ears sort of all going back, that of submission. Seeing their alpha wolf relatively decimated by those attacks, they begin to back off, and you watch as the tail of the alpha wolf goes between its legs, and it begins to slink away, leaving the rest of the pack now kind of looking at you.
I'll just sort of let out a primal sort of half human, half wolf like roar to sort of scare them off to follow to leave.
Okay, they hearing this aggression rather than taking them on or claiming this pack, they like scatter in a different direction, not following the kind of disgraced wolf, but instead heading off over the fields. That's the end.
You just ruined life, man.
Sorry,
level one. That's like a deadly encounter for like level 3.
A very Brother Draug moment there.
Very
Loved
cool.
it.
Very good.
Brother Draug lets out this howl as the wolves begin to kind of scatter. The older man knocks an arrow to his bow, leveling it towards Draug.
Can I try and snatch the arrow?
Yeah, you reach out, grabbing the arrow, towards the end.
Point the tip towards his eye. Be like, "That's another one of my angels. Don't shoot him."
Roll me an intimidation check, please, Dutch.
Yeah, I'd like to take this moment to revert back out of this hybrid
I don't think I
transformation.
get advantage. 11 plus. No, I'm proficient in it. I got 16.
We should rename the party to Dutch's Angels.
He looks towards Dylan as he begins to transform back to a human, and his the blood just drains from his face. Hi. Oh, it's happening.
We need to set
It's
a
happening
leg.
again. It's happening again, and you can see the girl that's lying down on the ground has witnessed the whole thing too, and there's just tears streaming down her face.
What's happened again?
Good people. Does this spur something in you?
They all sort of look terrified by all of you. Until the girl breaks the silence. She sort of slowly hobbles to her feet, being helped by her brother, and looks towards you all. Please, don't hurt us. You see, Madar, he was killed by a wolf. Zook.
I come floating over cross-legged. Well, that was quite the healthy pack. They would have had you.
Roll me a just a straight wisdom check, please.
Oh God, I launched the dice. It's a 17.
There's something about this girl that's very familiar.
Do I know you?
No, I don't think so.
You're from Miri, ain't you? Don't know why I went Australian.
No, I don't know
Worked.
what that is.
I look back at the wood, and I kind of look up at the sky and the mountains. Wait, can I see mountains in the distance?
Yeah, you can faintly see on the northern horizon the mountains.
And then suddenly my face drops and goes, "You're... Oh no. You're the girl. It was you.
What?
In the farmstead. It was... Oh no, it was your father. We need to help this girl. I am so sorry. Really, I am."
Somebody explain what's going on here.
Ruthus, I kind of drag Ruthus aside and say, "Look, I've done a bad thing. I remember this girl. When she was little, I was spending some time with wolves. I was a wolf for a while. I was in the pack. I was just getting to know them, getting to know their sense, their way of life. We were hunting. I could smell prey. We leapt from the woods. There was grass. There was beasts. What I thought were bison, but were cows, livestock. I went to kill one of them, but I felt a sting in the back of my haunches, and I saw a man with a crossbow, and I smelled my own blood, and I let loose in the fury of primal rage, and I savaged him. I was the wolf and nothing more, and I left the little girl orphaned.
Right. So you ate her father.
I didn't eat him. I just killed him and ran away.
How close are they standing to the girl? Like, how loud is all this?
They're a distance off enough
Yeah,
to,
like
to
dragged
be
him away.
hushed.
Okay.
Now I see why Zook didn't fucking judge me too much.
Well, Zook, I suggest that you keep this information to yourself and make amends in a different way. They don't need to know that you were the one that killed this girl's father.
But listen, I can't be around her. I need some space. You guys, you deal with this. I need to go. I'm gonna float off back up the hill.
Could I possibly send a message to Zook?
Yeah.
So sort of looking. I'll use my cantrip message. Zook, glad you leave. This young girl could do with some of your healing assistance. She has quite the broken leg.
I can't. Dylan, it was me. I killed her father.
What? You're not making any sense.
I know who she is. I remember. And then I'll explain what I explained to Ruthus. Dylan.
We'll do it arcanely. If this is true, you could at least partly redeem yourself by helping her now.
You're right. You're right.
The older man turns to to the younger son, not son, the nephew, Richter. You're kind of within earshot, and he says, "Did that man just say Ruthus?"
I'm sorry? No, he said Luther. I'm going to do a quick deception.
Sure, give me a deception check.
Okay. 28, motherfucker, not 20! Not 20!
The man sort of turns to you and says, right.
Yes, no, that's my friend Luther. Please, we must see to this leg. You've not... we've healed you to some extent, but you must not try and walk on this. Can you at least let us try and help bind it? Please, we mean you no harm.
It's hard to believe that when one of you just turned into a wolf-like creature.
We bear...
Because he's a druid, it's fine. Just ignore it.
We bear the crosses of our lives with the greatest intent that we can, sir. No matter how bad our curse, we can still do great things.
I'll float over. So I'll make you better. I can. Will you let me?
I know of no healer greater.
Roll me a persuasion check. Zook.
That guy really, really believes his name is Luther.
Yeah, that's that. He misheard fully.
To the day he dies.
It was an 8 for my persuasion.
It's okay. We take care of our own.
Please, I know what you just saw me do can be disconcerting, but please know that it was done in good faith. I saw from a ways off, a pack was tracking you. And after your niece here fell, they smelt the blood, and they were encircling in on you. I know wolves I more than anyone know wolves are savage creatures, but they respond to authority. And as much as I know that many would merely kill a pack like this, you must understand I have some affinity with them. So I did my best to save as many lives today as I could. But if you're going to do anything today, please let my friend Zook here help you. He truly is skilled in healing, and that wound, that could take months and months to heal. And this would save you many, many days of suffering.
He turns towards the girl and says, "Well, Rosalind, it's your choice." She sort of looks up towards you, Zook, and she nods. Make it
Thank
quick.
you. Okay. I reach into the canopy, my hand kind of disappears, and I pull out a little caterpillar, and I'm going to put it on her leg, and I'm going to start chanting as the caterpillar starts to glow white and then bursts into light and wraps around her leg, and I'll cast Healing Word at I guess 3rd level. So that's 5 plus 9 plus 5 is 14 points of healing.
14. You watch as her leg, sort of the kind of natural magic, bends her leg and twists it back to that, and you hear a kind of snap noise, that of like breaking branches and wood, and she kind of looks down, and not entirely healed. There's still some cuts and bruises on her, but the majority of where her leg was has healed back up, and she kind of flexes it, puts some weight on it, winces a little, but looks up and says, thank you.
It's the least I could do.
What can
It's
we
the least I
do
could
to
do.
repay?
Please don't. Nothing. It is us who repaid a debt to you. I don't think you'll ever understand why, and I don't intend to tell you, but please, you don't owe us anything.
They all kind of look to each other and pick up their bits of their quivers and arrows and her broken bow, and they sort of bid you farewell and begin making their way back towards. You can see kind of some smoke rising a ways off, and they begin to depart.
Oh, sorry about that.
Ruth is just gonna give Zook a slap on the back and give him a nod and say, "You did good there, Zuki."
Well, I suppose I took a life, and then we saved one.
Drag will
Balance is restored.
kneel down to Zook's height and just take one of his small hands in his and just solemnly look him in the eye and just thank him.
I don't deserve it, but you're kind, Dylan. Very kind. Thank you.
And so are you, Zook. And I can relate wholeheartedly to, well, this previous experience that you've had. And I know that others among us, our friends here, can also relate. So,
This is why I don't spend time as a beast anymore. It's only a small amount of time, when and as it's needed. No more than a day. I'll never lose myself.
Clearly friends, however, we have learned our friend Rufus's name is common amongst the small folk. He is, the eyes and ears are everywhere. We must be very careful as we press on.
A
true.
misty form begins to apparate near you, and Varian kind of appears. Who are those why am I northern? Who are those peasants? As he points down the hill towards them. Should we get them?
No, Varian, they're villagers. Simple folk. Leave them alone. Big oaf.
Alone.
These
Why do you want to hurt people all the time these days?
well, previous with the farmers, you showed a great kindness in helping them extinguish that fire that ravaged their crops, and you also left them food. So I know that I know that you truly do have a pure soul somewhere in there, that beneath that iron armor.
But Bahamut be praised. We should get moving, though.
Varian, could you just quickly tell me what race is it that you've sworn an oath against?
What I've sworn what against?
There's a particular kind of creature that you quite like killing. Begins with an S. Could you just... Okay.
You see, he's wearing his ring, and the north wind is blowing about.
I lost sight of you for a minute there, Dragon Priest.
If you ever want to know it's me, I will be wearing my ring at all times. I do not take this puppy off.
That seems sacrilegious on some level. Sacrilegious.
The things he could
Sacrilegious.
do when he's dead.
Sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious. He points towards you all in turn and goes,
Very well.
To remind
yeah,
Rolo
we'll
to do
remind
that.
him of his curled finger. So you begin to continue your journey.
Yeah.
So you begin back into your forms once more, until Elwyn Tor can be seen from a distance. It stands high on its hill, several stories up, smoke gently drifting from its uppermost chimneys. A twisting tower manor of stone and wooden beams, surrounded by a low stone-walled estate that overlooks the surrounding flax fields. As you approach, you can see the tower has fallen into somewhat disrepair. The roofs could use a fresh thatch, and vines and moss cling to the stonework like a hungry infant to its mother's teat. The grounds of the estate that curl up the hill are long overgrown, but you can faintly see workers out on the fields and a few more tending to the solitary weeded vegetable patches. How are you approaching?
I think I'll duck down and land before we get into too close to sight to the commoners.
You land sort of a ways off, maybe sort of in one of the flax fields, and begin to transform back.
So, shall we do we require some reconnaissance, or what is our approach?
Well,
Perhaps a disguise, none the least. Can I use minor illusion to create a different face?
It doesn't move.
Okay.
It's like a
Maybe
5
he's got-
foot square. And
Maybe he's
it
got
can't move
Botox.
really.
I see
Really
you
bad burns.
remembered to shave this morning, Ruthus, upon my request.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a gnome and I've shaved, so how different can I look?
I bet the old Ruthus Suncrest never had mud on his face. Maybe we should dirty you up a bit, get you a bit
Yeah.
grubby.
or a broken nose. So
His nose is already broken.
Been through
He
this.
turns to the side and looks back at Dutch. Already been done, I'm afraid.
No, but your gnome nose is fine.
Oh yeah, your gnome nose is fine.
Oh,
Good point.
virgin nose.
Totally good point.
Does healing fix a broken nose?
It's a whole new body. Oh, as
Oh,
in just
sure.
normal healing.
Doesn't
Yeah.
have diabetes anymore.
Normal, just like healing, won't if it's already healed. There's nothing
Sure.
to be healed.
Gotcha.
It would probably be like greater restoration or something higher.
Yeah.
Dutch, I appreciate the offer, but it didn't do me much good last time, so I'll keep it as it is this time.
Fair enough.
And
And,
Ruthus, you said you're not wearing your regalia. You have the same stuff, but without the your shield is no longer painted on, or your breastplate no longer has the sigilry on it.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, speaking of, the one thing I will take off is my signet ring, and I'll put it in my bag.
Okay. What about the sunblade?
I mean, I didn't have that before, so
Yep.
it's fine. I'm not going to walk in with it like out and lit.
Yeah.
I feel like a floating gnome isn't the most subtle, so maybe I should pass as an animal instead. I was thinking maybe a donkey.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Zook. Or you could sit upon one of our shoulders as a smaller creature.
It's true. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Dutch,
From
Yeah.
fancy giving me a piggyback?
Yeah, go on then.
All right. Oh, I've learned a new trick, by the way, everyone. And Zook's face kind of goes like contorts, kind of similar to you've seen like feathers or like fur coming out of his face, but his bone structure just changes, and he's kind of wearing all the same clothes, but now he's kind of a sort of curly auburn-haired halfling.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
With a kind of rosy cheeks and a little red button nose, similar to a halfling that has been seen around Umiri.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, just thought in case we need to hide our true identity. I'm
Yeah, I'm
learning
gonna-
the ways to change myself in new and profound directions.
That's not a bad idea. I know my visage can be a little bit disconcerting at the least. And so with that, I'll actually take off my hat and I'll just change my appearance to be sort of like the weathered-looking human that I've used to disguise myself previously.
Yep.
We're some distance from the Church of the High Hunt, are we, Dylan?
as far as Draug has ever traveled east. So
Great. And I turn into Hammond.
Amazing.
Next time we're at the Church of the High Hunt, he's gonna love that.
He's like a stoic, square-jawed individual with like an upright posture, broad shoulders, and
I best be sure to
permanent
commit
grit.
I best be sure to commit some crimes while here and make sure people see my face. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that.
Hammond does a voice like this. He's sort of a bit.
Hammond.
Arnie. My name is-
Okay. He is Arnie. And now I'm Hammond. Okay.
Step away
Hey,
from
this
the
guy's
tree.
self doesn't change your vocal cords, does it?
No, but you're pretty charismatic, so
Yeah.
I mean you don't need to do it. You don't need to impersonate him. Anyway, so you've changed. Brother Draug's changed. Zook, you're going to be a halfling.
Yeah.
Dutch is staying the same.
No, Dutch is changing.
2.
He's going to take his like leather armor and put a bigger jacket over the top and like toggle it all the way up so you can't see it. And then he's going to undo his wrist wraps, and instead of wrist wraps, he's going to wear lots of like gold rings, you know, like sovereigns and mismatched gems all over. And his big jacket he wears has got a big fur collar on it, and then he puts on a little hat, and that's his disguise.
Okay.
I like it.
Puts on his smiley face.
You look like a merchant. And Rufus?
I'm gonna throw my hood up and effectively just like cover like any like armor and stuff, and just try and keep my head in the shadows. I mean, I don't have any like other clothes, so
Okay.
yeah.
What's the plan?
As far as I remember, Heath was a good man and a good friend. He was never a fan of Kristoff. He was loyal to my brother. I do not fear that he would have turned. I think he'd still be loyal. However, it's just getting him alone will be the problem. I still don't want anyone else to know our true identities yet. So, we should go in with a story, see if we can't have a private audience with him.
Sounds like a sound plan. Or
do you
perhaps
think,
we could find a way
merchants?
to get a message to him and let him know that an old friend would like to have a chat with him.
We could tell him to meet us somewhere else, maybe like a alleyway or something like that.
If I'm able to lay eyes upon him, then I can send him a message without others being alarmed of me doing so.
Ah, very true. Perhaps you could walk through Ook and fly up to the window.
Indeed, we could do that. You'll just
See
have
if
to let me-
he's at home.
Okay. Perhaps you could lead us to where he is. Where he lives.
I gesture to the tower in front of us.
Oh.
You're not at Soul Reach. You're at Elwyn Tor. It's the manor of.
Yeah. Oh, it is just. I thought there was like a little. Is it literally just
there's
one building?
Well, no. There's like an estate and gardens
I
surrounding
see.
it.
Okay.
With like lower houses, but the Tor is a tower, so it's like a high tower on top of the hill. There's like tiers of gardens that are just all overgrown, and there's various people around, like workers, farmhands, gardeners, and things like that. But it looks pretty like run down as an estate.
Did,
Looks pretty grand.
Did we determine that locate creature works with just seeing an image of them, or do I need to have actually seen them?
Let's have a look.
It's just such
it's
a
also familiar, yeah.
very well. Never mind. It's just so yeah. It's such a good radar.
If we can get within 100 feet of the tower, then I can cast. As long as Ook is able to see him, and I can see him through Ook's eyes, then I should be able to send him a message. So if
Would I remember like where his sort of personal chambers in the tower would be?
You probably wouldn't have visited his personal chambers, but you would have been here for dinners. So you wouldn't be familiar with the entire interior. But you know that like the first floor is essentially just like the entrance kind of way, and the kitchens are on the bottom floor, and then the next floor up is where you dined. But you wouldn't have been any higher. You imagine probably higher up though.
Alternatively, Ruthus, you could give me a description of his appearance, and I could turn myself invisible and make my way to him. And cast
That
a
I
message
can
that
do.
way.
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you something about him. He's a wizened intellectual in the latter half of his life. There's almost a translucency to his skin from a lack of sunlight. He, however, keeps himself very well. He's smartly combed silver hair, descends into a full and round beard, covers most of his torso. He's got a round pair of spectacles. Other than that, not much to it. Well, he is a halfling, so there's that.
So do you wish to wait here on the outside of the estate?
I think that best for now, yes.
And where should I tell him to meet us?
What does everyone think? I don't know where else we would meet him. It'd be best probably within his tower.
What if I ask him?
There could be spies within. Could there not?
Yes, perhaps.
Maybe
in the wood.
Yeah. Say maybe tell him that he needs to take the air alone or something.
What if he doesn't trust me? Why would he? I'm a strange voice.
Take this, and I'll give you the signet ring. It's a ring that bears the crest of the sun crest. It's like heraldry.
Okay. Good idea.
Is there something, Tashi, I could tell him that he would know it was from me?
You could probably tell him of the specific meal that he particularly enjoys, or you both enjoyed at his manor, like a specific evening. Let's say the cook in his tower used to make partridge, but stuffed with gooseberries, like a gooseberry jam, and it was like this delicious meal that you'd only ever get when you were at his for you, and the chef would make that special for you when you came for like dinners and things like that.
What was the meal? Partridge with gooseberry jam.
Like
Stuffed
with gooseberry jam.
That could be a man make.
Yeah, I'll relay that to Dylan and say, perhaps let him know that I'd like to share this with him again sometime soon.
Would you like me to inform him that it is indeed yourself? Or would you like to keep that information privy for now?
Gauge his aura, and if you feel it's safe, then yes. I trust him.
Then your trust is enough. And with that, I'd like, if everyone's happy for me to do so, I'll get as close as I can, and then I'll use invisibility and make my way to the main building.
Okay, roll me just a straight stealth check as you begin to approach invisible.
Okay. That will be a
30.
It's a ways off, and you have to kind of climb the mound that the tower's built upon by kind of going through some archways, across some now kind of completely covered in weeds, kind of gravel path that leads up through a series of kind of tiered gardens that are just completely overgrown. A few kind of gardeners walk past. Clearly, the ones maybe tending the one of the only vegetable patches that isn't completely covered in weeds. They've kind of de-weeded. You easily kind of move around them and head further up until eventually you come to kind of an arched stone-walled square in front of the tower. There's a kind of pool, a pond in the centre, and like some smaller outhouses and stables lining the stone kind of the stone walls of this interior courtyard. And ahead is the tower that stretches up. The doors, the large sort of wooden doors, are closed, and it's still, it's now probably you've travelled for most of the day, so it's now heading into like the later part of the day, and the sun is beginning to go down, and you can see there are candles lit within some of the windows.
Is there an alternative entrance, one that might be a little bit more discreet?
You make your way sort of around. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. That will be a 14.
You make your way sort of out, within this walled courtyard around the building. The bottom of the tower is actually more of a rectangle, and then it's built up to a kind of spire. And heading round to the other side, you can see there's a similar set of double doors, kind of mirroring the ones on the front. That look to be, there's some kind of crates that are stacked outside, and probably this is like a servant's entrance.
Okay.
But the doors are shut.
Okay, no worries. I'd like to go up to the door and see if I can hear any voices on the other side.
Make me a perception check.
Sure. That will be a 22.
You listen, and looking about and listening, you can't hear anything from within. It looks as though there are some grooves in the gravel. Perhaps these kind of crates have just been delivered from somewhere else, but you can't hear anything inside.
Okay, is the door locked?
The door is not locked.
Okay, I'll just slip in as stealthily as I can.
Okay, roll me another stealth check then for the kind of interior.
Okay. That will be a 27.
You slip inside, and before you is like a corridor. It's a like nice marble floor that's still polished to a good standard. Straight opposite are the other doors, probably the front doors. But to your right and to your left, there's a door open that leads to what you can see as a kitchen. Doesn't seem to be anyone in there at the moment. And on your left, it leads to what looks to be a pantry and larder. And you can see this is kind of like the servant area. There is a staircase further near the front entrance that kind of curls upwards to the next floor above.
Was there a main room, like that was obvious from the outside on the ground floor?
So there are. It's kind of a rectangle shape, and you've seen the kind of back rectangle of it. You can see to the right and left of the front doors, there's also 2 more doors, but they're shut.
Okay. So I think I'll. Did we discuss where the library might be before I left, or did we not? No.
I guess you didn't.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, I'll head upstairs, I think.
Okay, you begin making your way upstairs. Roll me a perception check again.
Okay. Cool. All good. That will be a 26.
Okay. As you begin to head up, you hear a kind of noise, faint but further above, echoing kind of down the tower.
Okay. Can I make my way to that noise?
You curl your way up these stairs, passing a few rooms. You get to the first floor, and you can see there's to your right a large sort of dining room area. There's a kind of half-finished plate of something that's left there, and what looks to be a couple bottles of wine that are completely empty, as well as an old glass. And you can see moving very, very quietly within the interior an older woman, a human, moving about and facing away from you, and very, very quietly and softly just polishing things and moving about. Clearly a butler, and well trained in not making any sort of noise at all times. You continue up to where you could hear the noise, and you eventually come to a slightly ajar door of what appears to be a dimly lit room, and you can hear snoring from the interior.
Okay. Is the doors closed?
No, it's partially ajar.
Okay. I'll have a look inside, being as quiet as I can.
Make me another stealth check then.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought that was a 1 and a 2, but it's actually a 12. Okay, so 28.
You slip inside the room, and you can see there is a hearth within this bedroom, and you just see a big kind of chair facing towards the fire, a bed to the side with no one in, but you can faintly see a small hand just off the side of one of the arms, and a wine glass that's on its side on the kind of side desk with some wine that's slowly just pitter-pattering onto it. The room and the interior of this tower, you notice, it, although it is quite well polished, there are signs of kind of, decay on the windows. Vines are creeping over on the outside. They look like they haven't been opened in a while. It's very dusty and musty within. What do you wish to do?
I would like to. So I can see this individual, can I? Who's and does this individual match the description of Elwyn?
It does to an extent, although the description that Ruthus gave was kind of that of someone that was quite grand or well kept. This individual, although an older halfling of similar description, seems very unkempt. His hair and beard has kind of grown out. It's no longer slicked kind of grey cropped hair. It's kind of grown long and it's a bit frizzy. He's wearing essentially his bedclothes and a pretty luxurious but very worn and old dressing gown, and he kind of just is like there snoring gently.
I'd like to I'd like to, where I can, actually compose a note, if that's possible.
Okay.
It will say along the lines of something, an old friend, a friend who also enjoyed partridge stuffed with gooseberry jam, returns. He is cautious, but would like to meet with you. Leave the manor by the servants' quarters and follow the owl into the woods, and he will meet with you. And I'd like to put this in front of him, and with it I will leave the signet ring.
Okay.
Okay. and I will then, once that's done, I will just make my way down and outside, and then when I'm about, well, I think 100 foot's quite far, so when I'm 100 foot, I will say, I will send message to him.
Apologies for disturbing your sleep, but there's a note of import left in your quarters.
And I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Mike, in the note, I'd also explain coming alone is important.
Mike has had to go, but do people still want to play? Maybe until 10?
I actually might have to shoot off relatively soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm flexible, but
Yeah.
But I can hang for another like 10.
Okay. In that case, let me shift some stuff around. What I can do is I can do this. There. That should go back to normal. Yeah. Okay, cool. There's a sort of that you hear from upstairs, and as well, it just, automatically the message kind of comes back to you.
Yeah.
Marcel! Wait, what's this?
And you hear, faintly from upstairs, the clinking of a glass being put back up straight, and some muttering. That's as much as the message gets.
Yeah, I'd like. Sorry.
You stealthily manage to exit, and where are you going?
I'd like to stay obviously within range of Ook.
Mm-hmm.
But where I can, I'll walk through. Like, it's on the sort of furthest distance that I can go. I'll walk through his eyes, and Ook will wait somewhere, sort of not too too much of a strange position, but maybe on like a nearby tree. And then he'll wait hopefully for Elwyn to come out of the servants' entrance.
Some time passes, maybe 10 minutes or so, and eventually the back door, the servant's door, opens up, and a slightly better dressed, not in his night clothes, but instead in in kind of a noble's jacket and pants, and a kind of a travelling hood about him, as well as one glowing orb that seems to follow him about, and he wraps it into his cloak that softly kind of glows from underneath. He looks about, and you see his kind of old face look towards the owl, and he looks about and softly shimmies towards it.
And the owl, just from going from sort of like point where it can land to the next point where it can land, will just slowly start to silently fly towards where the party is located.
Okay.
Waiting for him to catch up.
That isn't technically towards the forest. It's actually kind of back out into the fields. That's where you guys landed. But wherever it was. Yeah. Eventually, the rest of you, waiting where you are, out in the forest, you roll me a perception check. Anyone who wishes to.
Oh.
Zeke?
It's 25.
Wow.
You hear the tweeting of an owl, and the sun is beginning to get pretty low now. Like, sun has past the horizon, and there's that kind of like glow in the sky still, but it's very dark in the land and in this crop. And although it's still kind of a warm evening, it's beginning to get slightly chilly. You also hear you hear hooves, but fairly far away and not heading towards you. You hear the sound of the owl. You hear the rustling in the leaves. This kind of quaint countryside area seems pretty much deserted. But it's very different to that of the Rift. It's very pleasant. Seems safe. But you are here on different circumstances. And eventually Ook flies into shot. Followed, I guess, by Brother Draug. You join
I will.
Or are you going to stay?
Yeah, well, I mean, I will have to have. Yeah, I mean, because I don't have to.
From a distance.
Yeah. I'll rejoin with them sort of from a different angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't have to walk. Once Ook knows what he's doing, then it doesn't matter. I was only looking through so I could know to see him.
And kind of coming out, far kind of taller than him, the flax, into the clearing that you've kind of made within the flax, a dishevelled, unkempt Heath Elwyn appears. He pulls back his hood as the orb kind of comes out and glows forwards. Rufus, are you there?
Rufus is going to walk forwards out of the shadow of a tree with his hood still up, and walk and keep maybe, I don't know, a few meters away. I was hoping to meet with an old friend. Is this the halfling I was expecting?
And we'll end today's session there.
Whoa!
Hey,
Fucking cool ass espionage shit. That was
Ooh.
cool.
that was smooth.
That was sick.
Smooth
Cold
Very
war,
good.
nasty.
That's-
butter.
That was great.
That was really
I
good.
really like the way that you left that note for him there and guided him out. That was cool.
I just wanted to find out how a way I could sort of do it and not just be like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, man, fancy meeting a friend?
Yeah, just a terrifying
Hey, dude, wake up.
visage.
You're drunk.
Could have gone so many different ways. I was sort of half expecting you to knock on the door and all pretend to be like salesmen or something. And I was
Hello.
like, oh, this is going to go really badly.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
going to
well.
know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, we've been burnt too many times of recent, so it's time to change our ways of doing things.
Very good. I like that a lot. Well, thanks for watching, everyone at home, and we'll see you next time.
Godspeed, everybody.
Yeah, next time.
Adios.
Peace.
Bye bye.